see chapter.
We are live.
There somebody went. Welcome to Season 2, Session 2 of our Sea Dogs GURPS campaign. I'm Gigermann, today's GM.
Hi, Gigermann.
This session's audio will be made available as a podcast. See the description for details.
Or else.
Or don't. I'm not your dad.
But do.
Or do not. There is no try.
Nosh, do you have any character business for Lieutenant Rogers?
I dropped some points into fast talk and guns pistol.
Right, and you dumped a couple of area knowledges, which are probably superfluous.
Yes, there will be no superfluous area knowledge with Lieutenant Rogers.
Junkie, do you have any character business for Sir Randall?
I'm sure I do, but not right now.
Ronky, do you have any character business for Captain Hayden?
In the same as Junkie, I will take care of it later.
Lazy bastards. Mel, do you have any character business for Claude?
Yeah, I'm saving up points for something.
Rigel Kent, do you have any character business for Dr. Spencer?
I am seriously contemplating burning the 5 points I have for the first level of eidetic memory, but I don't think I'm actually going to pull the trigger on that. So probably not at the moment.
Andricus, do you have any character business for Divino?
Who's Andricus?
I know. He's some guy who shows up sometimes and never says anything.
Sometimes he shows up an hour late.
Was like only on occasion. I'd like to bump up. I can't afford to bump up Axe Mace. Never mind. No business at this time.
Understood. For GM business, I would remind you guys that you have bennies. And specifically for the noobs, I gave you both 3 bennies for starting. And I don't believe I actually mentioned that last time.
I've only got 1.
Oh, I've got 3. Look at that.
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
And also for last week, I meant to do this at the end of the game, but Ronky and Junkie will both get +1 Benny for playing your character to your own hurt.
To the pain.
How so?
Sir Randall threw himself out there at great personal risk for the sake of being a danger fiend, and Captain Hayden's adherence to his obsession against his better judgment, I'm sure. So that was good play. You are rewarded.
All right, how do we use bennies in this one again?
A Benny is a plus or minus 1 to any die roll at any time before or after the roll is made, regardless of what it is.
No, right.
And that applies to NPC rolls as well, yeah?
I don't remember if I officially said that, but it seems like we were doing that.
Well, then why else would you have a minus?
If it's a bad roll.
But we don't see rolls, so we don't know if it's a bad roll or not.
Well, if you take damage, for example.
Yeah, but we don't know if using the Benny would mean they miss or not.
Yeah, but if you took 2 points of damage, you could reduce it to 1. That is a die roll.
Okay.
But sometimes you do know.
Carry on.
My wayward son.
What the hell was that?
Right, so. Stability. I also meant to do this at the end of the session last time and then did not. So, for everyone, loses 1 point of stability for the fight itself, for engaging in one. And you will also lose 1 for every time you rolled a frequency roll and it failed. So those of you that were rolling against mental disads, for example.
I don't remember what the rolls were though.
Yeah, I know. So
And what
if
is
you can
what
remember.
is long-term stability based off of?
Okay, now that is just stability points. Is that? Let me remember. If I remember correctly, stability was based on will.
So if you don't roll on a self-control and choose to automatically fail, does that alter your stability?
There is a thing in that, and I don't remember right off the top of my head what it was. So
Because
it
I
does
seem to
mention that in
recall
the
a few.
article.
I think a few people said I'm choosing to fail.
I know some of you did, and if I remember correctly, it was when you do that, you're giving into it, so you don't take the stability loss. But I also recall that there are situations where you take some anyway, and you basically just roll, and that determines what your loss is, regardless of whether you succeed or fail. At any rate, it's probably not going to matter because you guys are probably going to have time to rest and whatnot and recover all that. But I'm just bringing it, and that's always been the case since this campaign has started. You guys have never actually suffered from it. Really, the only way you guys are going to get into trouble is if you have a long-term situation or a rapid-fire situation where you take a lot of stability hits in a relatively small span of time where you can't recover them. This is probably not one of those.
Or I seek out
But
the
who
crazy
knows?
cat lady for the taste of madness.
That is a whole nother matter. Yeah, so in that vein, you recover 1 stability point for every 10 minutes in a relaxing situation, quote unquote. So, as I said, most of those are probably going to be recovered.
Where are those from? The stability points, long-term stability points. What
That
thing?
is Pyramid 3103. What the hell is it? Setbacks?
You should copy that stuff into Fantasy Grounds, so we don't have to look it up.
Did I not?
I don't know.
I don't see it.
3 what?
3103.
Gotcha.
No. I don't believe I did. Well, that's probably a reasonable idea. I'm going to put that on my notes. Done. One more thing. Area knowledge. So, I did not fill out my notes on how that was going to work.
It's area knowledge.
Okay, well, I have a note in here about area knowledge and study time, using study time for area knowledge. And I believe what the idea was to treat it like learning a language. So when you're immersed in a situation where you're learning a language, you basically treat that like you're on the job study, which means you basically get 2 hours a day of credit toward it. And once you hit the 200, you get your free point for it. So in this case, my thinking was area knowledge should probably apply to that as well. So probably area knowledge Caribbean in this case, because you guys are kind of jumping around quite a bit.
Is it 200 or 400?
200. 200 for 1 point.
Because it's
That is
normally
200
400 if it's self-taught. It's 200 if you have a
on
teacher.
the job is different.
Okay.
Okay, and that was all of the things. Therefore,
So how many days have we been campaigning?
We have a calendar.
and you interrupted me.
There's like a calendar. I think we
There is.
started on 1 January.
You're at a month and a half right now, ish.
No, it's not even close to 1 point.
Oh, well, no, that's minus any days off, but that's all on the spreadsheet. Although I guess that that particular one probably wouldn't apply. I need to do a thing for that, I guess. Let me make a note.
Well, you made a note.
There you go. I made a note. Now, back to what I was doing. Harbor log, Tuesday, February 13th, 1725. Harbour Island, Eleuthera. It is cloudy, with high southerly winds easing throughout the day, shifting to the southeast. Having just rescued Dora from her kidnappers and captured Mickle the Hound Scarab, the expedition is looking to Monsieur Lecroix, hanging in the rigging by 1 foot, for answers to what this Golden Skull business is about.
Yep, I want to move there. Ah, she's really big.
Yes, Claude hulks out.
So,
Why does it seem like I'm the only one that makes all of my images the same size?
always with the complaining.
Yep.
It's really difficult to make them all the same size because Fantasy Grounds Unity doesn't care what size it is.
I did it with Conan by when you open up the image, it's at a particular size. I think it's at the default size, unless it's like huge. And then you do the, I can't remember which option it is. It like size to fit, and then adjust
Zoom
it
to
that way.
fill.
Some of them work that way, some of them don't, and it kind of depends. To be fair, a lot of these images were ported over from Classic, so that situation doesn't 100% apply, but yeah, whatever. I don't care that much. At any rate, I believe Surrendel has this thing here in his hand.
And he
Yes.
will
was
never,
asking a
ever let
question.
it go.
And Claude was about to explain himself.
So Claude is going to first be ask, please, can you get me down? This is a little uncomfortable. His face is starting to turn a little pink.
Well, someone should help Claude down.
All right. Well, Rogers will help.
Thank you, sir.
And then Claude nicks his skull and dives into the ocean.
Never to be heard from again.
Peace.
Murder
Deuces,
person!
yo. I knew they existed. I had one as crew.
So after Claude's back down, they'll start spinning the tale. He's not going to go into a lot of detail about all of the circumstances around how he got it. He's just going to say he found it while serving on his prior ship, and it looked like it needed a good home, so he took it with him. He will actually go into more detail about what's happened since, because since he's joined this crew, there have been some weird stuff happen. So he'll go into a little more detail about the dreams that he's having about this old man who has the counterpart skull, and how when he's holding the skull, he feels like a pull in a certain direction.
Well,
Clearly
isn't
fairy work.
that curious?
Would now that Randall's holding the skull, would he actually feel that pull?
He does not.
So obviously you're just crazy.
Maybe.
Well,
Please, can I have it? Can I have it back?
of course, Master LaCroix. It
is
is
precious
yours,
to
but I am quite curious what this might pull you to.
Is it actual gold?
It looks like it.
So it's worth a fortune.
Given the weight, you'd say it's probably not solid. Not solid gold, at least.
Still, it'd be worth a small fortune.
It'd be worth quite a bit.
I would definitely be quite interested to see where this would take us. Should we follow its leading? Yes, Master LaCroix?
That's what I would like. I would like to do. I actually have some concern for the old man. One of the last times I dreamed, he seemed scared, and he was hiding his skull, and he was worried that he was about to be found. I don't know what that means, but I am a little worried for him.
Well, I know nothing of dreams, but I do know a thing or two about treasure, and I tap my nose.
Now, Mel, do you remember about the triangulation?
Yeah, I do. Claude, I think, would as well. That we had like a general idea about where it was, and
I don't remember how much of that I actually talked about.
yeah, you mentioned that as we've been traveling, Claude's been able to get a general direction, and there's like a big circle on the map where he kind of could figure where things were about to look, but it's a big area. It still wasn't it would still take a while to search.
The specific that I probably never mentioned to you that I probably should have was that so during this last month and a half, Hayden would occasionally, as you guys were under sail, do navigation training with everybody. And what was happening was Claude would be paying very close attention to the map and would occasionally sort of get a bearing as you guys were going along.
Awesome.
So that was how Claude had been triangulating where that location might be.
Okay, so Claude will mention if I could see, Captain, if I could see your map, I could point out a pretty big area where I think it might be.
To the maps, then.
The role that I did in the box was for detect lies.
Oh. Okay.
Let's see. So I need to do what, a fast talk?
Well,
Or-
that depends.
Because it
You
wasn't
could
really.
roll.
It wasn't lying. It was more omission.
Well, that's true.
Hayden's thought is, we can't have a thief on board. That's his instinct.
Ruh-roh. Now
So-
Claude is totally thinking, oh yeah, I do have a couple things I've liberated.
Oh yeah.
So Mel can roll whatever she likes in the box, and I'll let you know how that goes.
It's probably fast talk.
It could be fast talk. It could be diplomacy if she's trying to convince them of that you're telling the truth. Or,
Yeah, she doesn't.
but
he
I
doesn't
guess.
he doesn't have diplomacy. The only one that I think would go would be fast talk, and his skill's not very good.
Well, if that's the only one that Claude has, then that's probably the one he's gonna use.
Yep, I'll throw it in the box.
All right. As Claude continues to tell his story. Oh. Right, somebody else threw me off. Claude continues to tell his story. Captain Hayden does not detect any guile, as far as you can tell, watching the body language.
All right, then he's satisfied.
Payne, on the other hand, thinks maybe there's a little more to that story. Of course, he said the same thing about the bounty hunter.
It's always more
At
to
any
the
rate.
story.
The map. Claude will end up pointing somewhere in this general vicinity.
Are we already
And
going that way?
the largest settlement there is Curacao. That isn't Spanish, that is.
We were going that way.
No, you guys did not make any
That
plans to
is
go
a
that direction.
Pretty decent distance off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh, I
if I
see.
back it up here.
I was zoomed in,
Yeah.
looking at Campeche, and I was like, "What? Why? What? What's going on?" Let me scroll up. Oh, hey, there's a circle down there.
Okay, so as indicated, you guys are headed in that general direction, and that is basically the end of what you planned. Now, you guys know of at least a couple of other places that you wanted to go. At least Hayden is wanting to go to Old Providence, which is here-ish. So,
I need to go
As
someplace.
as the journey continues, once you get to Campeche, you guys will make your plans ahead of time, and you're going to be headed in that general direction at least. Now, what you plan to do after that is another matter. For example, Spencer has a thing about Antigua, which is way over there.
Only because the GM rejected my initial idea.
And for the record, I have created quests for all the bits that you guys are aware of right now.
Wow, look at that. It's a quest.
It's a quest.
It's not really a quest, but near enough.
Here's a recommendation. You should grab the all-seeing eye and drag a pen on the appropriate location.
Didn't I do that on some of these?
I don't know. I don't see any pins. If there are pins, you may have to, share them.
I
or
think
hide them or something like that.
I think I did have some out there, and the map got reset when I converted over. I may have to redo those. I'll make a note. Scroll.
You can set the pins to be GM only, or
Yeah, I remember
visible
that.
to players.
So noted. And back down to the thing. So, that said, okay, so the other part of Claude's story there is, aside from the triangulation, Claude hasn't been around the world all that much, but he would say that the house that the old man lives in and the houses around it, such as he's seen in the dreams, did not appear to be Spanish, and that is something that is detectable. That they do have somewhat of a unique style. So the guess would be either Curacao or one of the other Dutch islands right next to it. This Bonaire and Aruba.
Well, we'll put it on the list.
Now, whether or not you guys intend to stop here and start planning for what's next or not is another matter. You guys still haven't made it to Havana yet, so you don't know what you're going to find out there.
Right. We're going to Havana first. So we need
Indeed.
to finish our stuff here and go to Havana. I hear they have
With
really
that,
good cigars.
So I have one more question from stuff
Yes.
from last week. So Claude nicked those runes from the dude that have what I'm guessing as the player had Dora's hair in it. When Claude nicks them, is there any kind of pull or something that would let him know that these are attuned to a specific person, like they're pointing at Dora, or no?
No, nothing but a bunch of shiny rocks as far as Claude knows. Now, I would say that in addition, there was that little bit of hair. There's also a wooden splinter of some kind. Don't know what it's from, and some other miscellaneous crap that's in the bottom of the bag. It could be trash.
Okay.
Yeah, you should just burn all of it and leave the stones. It's probably all like items for hunting other people.
It's like pocket
And
lint.
I'm
Yep.
assuming Claude's level of education is such that he has no idea what the hell those markings are.
Oh yeah, no, they're pretty rocks.
To be perfectly blunt, I'm the character that would be most likely to know them, and I don't have any appropriate skills to recognize the Futhark runes.
Well, he might not recognize them specifically, but he might be able to ID them as Scandinavian or Viking related. There is enough of that around the British
Sadly, I
Isles.
don't speak any Viking languages. I'll have to pick some up somehow.
At any rate, so that is the stones. And now that the story time is over, you guys are at the ship at Harbour Island, just at the docks near where Thomas Friendly's merchant house is. And you guys made it through the night. You have technically done what you came here to do. That was to allow Captain Hayden to talk to Mr. Friendly. And he has, and he found out the information he was looking for, that being whatever Friendly knew about his son. So the question that needs to be answered for the time being, well, there are two specifics. So the first question is, how long are you going to hang around and what are you going to do here? It's a multi-part question. And the second part is you do still have the bounty hunter, and I don't recall if you specifically said you have released him now or if you're still planning on waiting to do that.
I've already forgotten about him.
I think the plan was to release him in the morning.
It's the morning.
It is the morning.
I
Right,
don't
you
recall
were,
if there was something else.
You were going to get with Friendly and get
That's
something
right.
of
Find
his.
a personal thing. Personal item.
Okay, so in the morning you can go talk to Mr. Friendly and see if he can come up with something.
And I suspect Sir Randall doesn't want to stay around here for very long because the frog guy has got like a head start on us.
There is that.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh. And in case anybody missed that part, or anybody watching didn't know about it, the ship that Claude was on before is in fact La Dame Blanche, which is captained by Sir Randall's rival.
Does Sir Randall
Therefore-
know? She was aboard that boat.
I want to say there might have
think
been
they did know
clues
about
dropped. There were
I-
clues or something dropped, but
I don't know if
they
we
were
said so.
definitive.
I don't know if we said so specifically, but I was laboring under the impression that Claude was hired specifically because he had left Boissonade. But now you know why.
Or we have a good we have a good expectation of a reason.
Because Claude did say he took it from the former ship.
Wait,
Aha.
you?
Well,
Sorry, I
he
forgot.
said he acquired it. Let me see what I wrote down. He said he recovered it while serving on the ship prior. He didn't
okay.
really say
Yes.
he took it from the ship.
Now,
Payne might
If it-
come to that conclusion.
yeah, that might be
Yeah.
something I would come to. But the other that actually works in Claude's favor, because if he can use it to get ahead of Bonsignade for some reason, he will definitely assist in getting one over on him.
If
Just
you,
because.
yeah, if you indicate that to Claude, Claude is like thumbs up to that because that guy was a dick.
Of course he is. I mean, he's French. I mean, not that you're. Yeah. I mean, wait. You know what I mean?
Is he an extra dick? Like on top of being French?
Oi,
outside of being French, he's what he is.
All right, so the first order of business that I am aware of at this point is going to be for Hayden to go talk to Friendly so he can let the bounty hunter go. Do his thing. So, does Hayden have anything specific to say on the matter, or should I just assume?
Well, he's just going there to ask if Friendly has anything of it's a personal item to his son.
Well, he will say, well, he's got all these letters that they used to write. And he'll go over to the place where he's got them all stored and whatnot, and some of them are relatively old. But other than that, he can't think of anything.
The letters, who are they addressed to?
They were addressed to him. So he had said, and you were aware that they had corresponded while Matthew was on the Cardinal Virtue.
And this is all you have of Matthew's?
He does not have anything else.
Well, sir, may I take these letters?
He will be reluctant to part with all of them.
All right.
Maybe that
I'm
one.
going to use diplomacy for influence.
What is your objective?
To negotiate doesn't matter.
The coughing fit in the middle of your diplomatic attempt didn't help.
To negotiate a exchange of these letters, he'll say, I need these letters in order to find my son. Well, to be more specific, I need a personal item of Matthew's. If this is all you have, then this is what I need.
Well, I guess I'm not that sentimental.
Look, I do not need them all. But some of the letters, the more personal ones, I believe. Actually, no, Hayden wouldn't know.
Well, he'll kind of sift through them while you guys are sitting there looking at it and say, "Well, that one, there's nothing useful there," and well, this one's a maybe. This one was pretty recent. That might be helpful. I think that might have been when he was in prison. No. And so you'll go through it and you'll kind of pick out which ones are probably relevant or not, assuming that there's anything in them that is relevant. Because frankly, that's not what you need it for. But he doesn't know that.
What's the general literacy level of this period? Is it
Probably
likely
not
that
as bad
Friendly
as
can
you
read?
think. It's still not uncommon for somebody to not be able to read, but it's also not uncommon for somebody to be able to read.
Well, Hayden will ask, Mr. Friendly, do you mind if I ask, can you read?
Of course I can read. Can't do the books otherwise.
Of course. Well, may I take these few here?
On one condition. You have to get him to come back here and see me.
Aw. They're totally not gay for each other.
I will pass the message to him. I will encourage that he does come to visit, but I'll not force it.
Or at least get an official release for me to see his mum. But don't tell the wife.
Hayden will just nod.
She likes me. I'm a ladies' man.
Of course
So-
you are.
Hayden obviously
Oh
has...
wait, I'm not there.
There's a little bit of a conflict of interest there. He will say, I'll pass on the message.
At any rate, you have some letters.
Well,
So
good day to you, sir.
going straight to Mickle.
Yes.
He will see the letters and say, well, this can do, I think.
Unfortunately, this is all that I could find.
Well, there's plenty of them at least. Do you want to keep some, or shall I take them all?
Actually, in receiving these letters, Hayden would have had a read. Just out of curiosity about...
You've gone at least skimmed a couple of them, just the first page or whatnot, just to see what the hell they were about.
Is there anything that sort of triggers Hayden at all?
Not anything specific, I would think. Just
Man, my dad's a tool.
stuff about this is a son that you didn't know you had until recently, and so seeing the way he talks and the things he talks about and that sort of thing, I would say that triggers something, but not anything intelligence wise, I would say. Although there is a good deal about naval stuff. So the kid's clearly an experienced seaman.
Well, Hayden will probably have some sort of emotion like, I wish I could have been there to teach him.
What are you talking about? Hayden's looking at these letters and going, I found the replacement PC for when I die. Cool.
Shh, shh. No one knows that yet.
You'll just have to transfer your primary essence into him. He's going to go from speaking American to speaking Australian.
Now, I am making an assumption here that you guys had basically boarded Mickle up in somebody's barn or something, whatever you guys had to hand. So he is there, and so basically you bring the letters, and he's like, "All right, well, this will work. I will." He'll feel around for a second and say, I had a pouch of stones. Did you take those when you searched me?"
I did
Going
not.
to need that as well.
I will ask to see if anyone else did take them. Why do you need them?
I need those to find him. It's hard to explain.
All right, well, Hayden will untie him, and will lead him to wherever the rest of the crew are.
All right.
He won't give him any weapons or anything like that.
Now, you've also got the other guy here as well. And Mickle will kind of nod in his direction, say, I suppose I could take him back with me.
None of us got seriously injured or anything like that, did we?
I don't think any of you got injured.
No, you skated on that one.
So there's no real consequence if we let him go. Of course. Consider it your lucky day.
I do indeed. At least it will be if the stones are returned and all the contents that were with them.
All right, so we'll head back to the rest of the crew.
Okay. I'm assuming that did not take but 15 minutes, so everybody's still poking around at the ship. In the meantime, Mr. Bold, who was also there, will have suggested that we should go over the ship and check it for any leaks or damage from the storm last night. And so he's already starting to poke around, and you guys are probably getting involved, I assume, when Captain Hayden returns with the bounty hunter and the other guy, I guess.
Bounty hunters. We don't need that scum.
Well, he's going away, so it doesn't matter.
Gather around.
Aye, Captain.
Actually, he
Make
he would probably refer to Rogers and he'd say, "Mr. Rogers, gather the crew."
Mr. Rogers.
Aye, Captain. So Rogers will gather the crew about.
Make your address, sir.
Last night, when we took custody of Mr. Nichols here, someone removed some items, personal effects of Mr. Nichols. He requests that they be returned. They are a bag of stones. Mickle.
That's nice. I have not seen any such bag.
Could they have been dropped on our trek from the beach?
I think not. They were secure at the time. Perhaps not secure enough.
So,
I look towards the monkey.
That's true.
It makes the monkey smile.
has anyone seen these stones?
Actually, I think half the crew is looking at the monkey.
Claude
Why
is also looking at the
do
monkey.
you accuse Boom this way? This is not just.
And then you note that Boom is totally holding on to something it shouldn't have.
Right?
Well, that's just unfortunate timing.
So Claude has a
Come, Master
quirk.
Davino. Not like we will be hanging a monkey should he have found his paws on them. The man just
Irrelevant.
asks for his stones back.
Mel was saying.
Yeah, Claude has a quirk of being selfish. So Claude is going to keep, is not going to say anything.
Yeah, I'm amused that we've all probably at this point had the monkey borrow things that it shouldn't. So it makes perfect sense that everybody is going, dude, the monkey probably took them. But where would the monkey
Where?
put them?
Where did Claude store said pouch?
At the end of the night, I had said that Claude would stick it with the stash that the as yet
Right.
undetermined stash of stuff that he has picked up during their trips somewhere on the ship, kind of like a little smuggly hole.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where they are.
So Lieutenant Rogers will turn over to the captain just to look at what his reaction is.
Well, he would be pretty stoic at this point, and he'll say, Mr. Mickle, it would appear that your stones are not with any of our people. Perhaps they were lost on the beach.
That is unfortunate. So be it. This may just take longer.
So I do have a question though.
Yes.
After all of this discussion, could Claude kind of puzzle out at this point the hair with the stones now that he said he needs them to find things?
Did he actually say that here?
Or did he say it back at the house?
Yeah, I think he said that back at the house. He probably wouldn't know. And Claude did kind of depart the company. But I
Yeah.
tell you what, I would give Claude an IQ to see if he could piece together that they could be part of some sort of magic ritual, even if he couldn't identify what specifically they are.
Okay, I'll roll it in the box for you.
Magic and superstition. How, in the period, how prevalent is it?
Superstition is ubiquitous, I would say. Although this is the age of enlightenment, so you could say that the civilization is sort of coming out of that.
Where people
There
are
is
real, though.
still the consideration for alchemy and that sort of thing, and medical practices still talking about humors and that sort of thing. So it's not out of the question. All right, well, Claude is going to keep his secrets. And therefore, the bounty hunter's efforts to find Haydn's son may be somewhat hampered. But you may not know the details of this, because he will beg his leave, and he and the other crewmen shall go off. And when I say go off, that means they're going to start walking down the beach.
Looking for a bag of rocks.
Looking for a bag of rocks.
They may go back and look for a bag of rocks. But you might recall that there are at least 2 other of the crewmen who had run off, and they may be going to collect them. In the meantime, the previous question was not answered, that being, what are you planning to do here? Are you planning to hang around?
I think we're going to, return to Nassau and then onward towards the west.
Did you have a reason to return to Nassau?
Supply up if we didn't already.
There was a bit of a snafu with regard to that. And so what I did was decided, because you guys spent a week in Nassau recovering, and I don't think we actually did the provisions thing at the time. So I went ahead and retcon said that you guys topped off before you came out here.
Gotta
Which
catch up
gives
with
you,
Bonsignol.
if I recall correctly, around 12 days of food remaining. So, you don't necessarily need to go back to Nassau, depending on how long you expect your next journey to take. So that is a consideration here. Now, your cargo hold is otherwise empty at this point. You could potentially look around here for something to trade.
This is a really small place, though, right?
It is a really small place. So
That's why I was thinking Nassau.
it'll
is
be
probably
limited.
better.
But if you want to look, you can. Other than that,
Well, we got an empty hold. We can move faster, right?
right. So you've also got the additional consideration of whether or not you're going to try to find a pilot. And that is going to depend on a couple of things. So you are going to need a pilot to get out of the bay. Definitely. Depending on your route you take to Havana, you may need an additional consideration in that regard, and we'll get into that. Let me
Right,
see
let's
if you
get a
want to
pilot
do
then.
another thing first. So if you're, I'll ask again, if you want to bother trying to get any cargo here, or just skip it and get onto it.
How long would it normally take to A, get the pilot, and B, get the cargo? Because I think the cargo is like 3 days.
It was a 2-day standard, but I'm going to cut that down here just because there's, all of less than 200 people here. How long can it possibly take to find somebody here?
So if while somebody's looking for or trying to get the pilot, I could seek potential cargo then.
Right.
I don't remember what the skill is that I need to use, but
Merchant type.
Well, we'll get to that in a bit.
Well,
So you guys are going to.
I'm assuming
you
we're
wanna
going to leave
stay-
the pilot in Nassau, or he'll hop ship after we get past.
We'll get to the details on that in a minute. You want to do a rush job and try to leave in the afternoon, or you want to go ahead and stay over one day and leave in the morning?
I'm going to say rush job because he's impulsive.
Well, that's reasonable. Is everyone else ready to do that?
I'm sorry, I forgot I wasn't paying attention.
And I get a little antsy when I'm not on the run or not on the hunt.
Uh-huh.
If it makes sense, safety of the ship and crew wise, then sure, Hayden will support it.
We will begin with that in mind. So, I would like to establish some particulars.
I'm tall, I have dark hair. I hear phantom voices.
All right, so
I like
we
digging holes on
are
the beach, shiny things.
looking at this map. Never mind the fact that it is not very accurate. You are currently here, as indicated, and you need to get to Havana, which is the big blue star to the southwest. There are a couple of ways you can do this, depending on how quickly and effectively you want to arrive. The first way is to go this direction through the Northwest Providence Channel and into the Strait of Florida,
Hey,
where
Florida.
you would go south and hit Havana, pretty much a straight shot, possibly hugging the Florida Keys, depending on how you want to do that.
Well, hopefully we don't hit Havana. I mean, that could ruin the boat.
There
Or
is
Havana.
a second way that I will mention, and that is to go near to Providence Island and cut across the Great Bahama Bank through there, basically. And this is a bit of a shortcut, but you know that also that area is very shallow. And so it will be a little more difficult. And if you want to go through there, you're probably going to want to get a pilot, hence the additional consideration. With that, I will do this thing. Where did I put that?
Not there. Not there.
I totally think we can do this, and getting on the road faster gets us closer to Bonsignard.
Quicker,
Ooh,
easier, more seductive.
Yes.
So,
I like that purple. That was a cool purple.
some of you have area knowledge Caribbean, which will apply here. This is a bit.
Nope, not the right purple.
You'll have some penalties for the regional difference here, but ultimately, in order to figure out what sort of conditions you're going to have to deal with here, we're going to have to do that part of the plot the route. So, Anybody can participate in this if you have that ability. I have described a few things in here ripped off from Dungeon Fantasy, but probably the primary here is going to be area knowledge, and whoever has that at the highest, I think it might be Hayden.
I've got Kingston as area knowledge for some reason.
13 for Caribbean.
Okay, I think Rogers is.
Yeah,
Rogers
I got the Americas at 13.
So
America.
the Americas actually covers a larger area, so this is going to be a smaller. The Caribbean is going to be more appropriate and have fewer penalties. I think this is
Kingston
probably going
correct?
to.
Or should
Well-
I have Caribbean?
Now, Spencer hasn't been all that.
No,
all
yeah,
that,
that's fine. I was
many
just making
places.
sure.
Now,
That's
he
true.
has, of
He's been in
course-
Bedlam.
Well, he has. Oh, yeah, he's basically only been to Jamaica, which is why he's got area knowledge of that.
Okay, cool. I was just making sure that I didn't have the wrong area knowledge listed.
He is in the process of gaining more, I presume.
If you can
So-
remember to pay attention.
Let me remind myself what the difference in penalty is, because I did not put that down in the immediate area.
Bad GM, bad.
Yeah, I was telling myself all week to do that. Okay, yeah, I'm going to call this one a -2. So, area knowledge Caribbean at -2, or area knowledge Americas at -4.
I defer to the captain.
Well, you never know. You could roll really well. And if anybody has anything to assist with, that is also a thing. Which, you could assist with your Americas. That will not. Yeah, it would still be penalized, I guess.
Mark, in Discord, I've dropped an image showing you the dice that I use for the
Cool.
purple.
So, roll please for Captain Hayden. And if anyone else is attempting to assist in any way.
I want to. I just don't know how.
And we can use Benny's after the fact.
Yes, you can use bennies after the fact, and although it may not be necessary in the case. You could also. No, you don't have a bonus for your maps, do you? I don't think your maps are extra helpful. It probably looks about like this one.
Yeah, I'll be glad to pitch in some bennies to assist with Hayden's role since Claude is causing problems.
Yeah, to make up for it. No, you want to save that for a later part. This part is less important. Yeah.
Okay.
Well done.
No, never
And he
mind.
made it anyway. Wait. Okay, -2. Yeah, you're good. Okay, so because I'm doing these things out of order because I'm a dummy. Damn it, where did I put that? Notes. Right. I really hate it when this happens. Now I've got something written down. I can't bloody find it. Okay, never mind. Anyway, so with a reasonable success there, you are going to know a few things about this situation. So, cutting across the Bahama Bank will shorten the distance a little bit. It will also avoid another problem that you're going to have going through the Florida Channel, and that being the Gulf Stream. So the Gulf Stream is the on-ramp to the superhighway that goes circles around back to Europe and then back here to the Americas in a generally clockwise direction. It is the strongest current in the Caribbean area and can be up to like almost 5 knots, which basically means you're running on a slidewalk that's going the other direction. Now, going through the Bahama Bank will get you outside that current, at least for a little while, and that'll not only shorten the distance, but improve that situation as well. Unfortunately, it is far more difficult because it will be super easy. It is shallow enough there that even your ship could potentially have a problem. And for the record, you would be cutting through this way, and at the worst part up until the end, it's mostly 2 to 4 meters deep.
What's the draft of our boat?
Your draft is just short of 2 meters. Actually, just over 2 meters. Right around
Just
2
over
meters.
2.
So you guys will have to be on the ball if you intend to do it yourself. If you have a pilot, that's going to make that easier because somebody that knows the area will know where not to go.
Well, I rolled my overconfidence. I'm sure we can do it.
I'm overconfident. I believe in you too.
Well, I believe in you as well.
Actually, no, it means I don't need to be overconfident. I succeeded.
true.
So, how much time do we save?
I think it's about 50 miles shorter. It could be potentially half a day. Now, that is making some assumptions about the wind. One of the other things you are aware of in this case is that the trade winds typically blow from the northwest, which would be super helpful. But this is the winter, and sometimes there are storms in circulation, and sometimes the winds go the other direction for no damn reason. So your overall estimate would be that if the winds are favorable, this could take a couple of days. If the winds are unfavorable, it could take a week or more.
And in both, or in the case of the shortcut, we'll save half a day.
Potentially, yeah.
So the saving is not that much over
It's
the
not a
whole
lot.
period.
Now, there is one other consideration aside from the wind and current, and that is Guardacosta. So right now, you guys are aware and you know enough about the area that you know that the Guardacosta coming out of Havana are not uncommon in this area. And they are assholes. And the Florida Strait is a big-time trade lane, whereas the Bahama Bank is not. And also the Bahama Bank is going to prevent most bigger ships from going there at all. So there is a safety consideration as well.
Randall. This Bossonard,
He's a right ass.
how well do you know him? Is he a gambling man? Would he take the safe route? Or would he take the shortcut?
Oh, he would definitely take the shortcut.
Then I'm afraid I think we must too.
I have
So,
all confidence in your abilities, Captain Mr. Rogers.
so do you get help or do you try to go it on your own?
Ooh.
Now, you could do when I say get
We go
help,
it on
you
our
do
own.
it. You could
I
do it a
agree.
couple of ways. Well, it's too late, but I'll go ahead and say it. You could hire a pilot to go with you and guide you through, or you could actually just talk to somebody who knows the area a little better and could at least give you some pointers, if nothing else.
Well, we'd probably get the most current maps and stuff.
And pointers.
You could at least do that.
At least that.
Given
If
where
we
you
have-
are, it's going to be difficult to get them here. But this is it's a port, so
If we have some new and accurate maps or some
Well-
current information, then I believe we can do it ourselves. We will not need a pilot.
Would it behoove us to do this search in Nassau and not where we're currently located, seeing as Nassau's probably got more people that are more populous and more current with the
Well-
goings on?
more is relative.
Right. All right. Then I say we make sail. Nothing like a little adventure. Something to keep us on our toes, right?
Okay,
Slice of life.
Of course.
If I have this correct, then you are planning to leave as soon as possible. You are going to take the shortcut and not immediately planning on stopping anywhere else that I'm aware of.
That's as I understand it too.
Except for Nassau to get better maps or information.
So you are planning on stopping in Nassau.
I thought
It's on the way.
It's not really on the way. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's going to take off a fair bit of time to actually stop at Nassau, to enter port, to go ashore, to go poking around for maps, and then depart again. There is going to be a trade-off there. Not that I'm trying to talk you out of it.
All right, then let's try and find some information and maps here. If we can find something here, then it'll mean we don't need to stop at Nassau.
Indeed.
Actually, how's
That
it pronounced? Is
said-
it Nassau or is it Nassau?
Properly it's Nassau. It's German, or isn't it?
Nassau.
Bohemian, I think.
Do you need a roll to find maps?
Wait one. So I am processing. Okay, so you guys had a brief conversation about where to go after the bounty hunter left your service, as it were. And you guys have briefed the rest of the crew that any business you have going ashore, make it quick. And aside from looking for maps / information about the shortcut, you don't have any plans on looking for anything here. So, that said, the crew will go ashore. And split off their separate ways unless you are intending on keeping a guard aboard the ship that is not one of you. Question mark.
Well, I think Article is going to be doing the potential, trying to find whatchamacallit, cargo. So he wouldn't
Oh.
remain on the boat.
So he is actually going to go look for cargo.
The rushed, yeah. It's like, hey,
Okay.
if there's anything that's needs to go out or can go out ASAP, then let us know because we're about to go.
All right, I will consider that. So Article has a second thing that he has going on. So you've already spent a usage of serendipity to get
Right.
the good surgery tools. So you know that Thomas Friendly actually has a medical chest that is of improved quality from yours.
Right.
Now, you had already discussed that with the rest of the players, and they were willing to allow you to use company funds for that. A new set would be around 30 to 40 pounds, which is quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a new one.
It's not new, and so you would probably all be aware, and specifically Hayden, since he's pretty good with the area knowledge in this area, will know that the people here in Harbour Island make a fair amount of profit from wrecking. That being
that's
the
fun.
recovery of goods from ships that have wrecked in the great many reefs around this area. And so chances are that particular medical chest came out of a wreck. So you can throw that into your things to do.
Yep. Well, if I can't get the cargo because I need to get that, then I think the medical chest is going to take precedence and priority and all that. And I will
Indeed.
attempt to convince him to not charge quite as much because that's a lot of money.
Now, in the case of cargo, I mentioned before the smuggling situation. If you intend to sell cargo at Havana, you know that it is a closed port. They don't trade with Ingles. So,
Spencer probably doesn't know that. He doesn't think about that crap.
on the other hand, you guys also know that it is corrupt as hell, and smuggling is pretty much constant. So, you could potentially sail right into port with those goods, and maybe be able to get around that. On the other hand, you also are aware that there are other ports that someone might go to if they are smuggling into this or that port. So, for example, in Havana, if you are smuggling to Havana, you might sail around to, I forget which bay it is, but they're pretty much all on the south side of Cuba. So you would have to sail all the way around Cuba to get there. But they would bring their goods in there and then walk them across to Havana. You're not going to do that, but that's a thing everybody does.
We're gonna
Right.
go meet Cuban Pete.
Indeed.
He's the king of the rumba beat.
So I hear. So, place yourselves appropriately.
Unless Rogers has something specific to do, Hayden will suggest that he stay back. It's his first mate.
Yeah, Rogers was thinking he'd do the same thing, just stay back.
Oh, right. Speaking of Rogers, quick word. You're still injured,
Yes.
as is Mr. Bold. Oh, yeah.
What are they in?
Yeah, they were-
right. Yeah, because that's right.
They were shot.
Ah, yes.
So, First thing I want you to do is roll health at -4.
Pew, 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 pew. He's gonna murder us. Oh,
Okay,
Approved mine.
you
Why is
failed,
it
but not by a
great?
lot. So you did not do more damage to yourself last night, but you also will not heal a point. So for the record, by the rule, crap, I have to actually approve this for that to go away. By the rule, you don't get recovery if you do not stay in bed all day. There is consideration for the conditions under which you are attempting to recover. What I am going to do is allow, in general, a -2 if you're doing light duty. And in your case, I am assuming that you are doing light duty. However, you were in combat last night, so you will not recover any additional. That said, the physician roll is once every 3 days. And I don't recall if Spencer got to make more than one roll. Because you guys spent a week.
I don't remember making more than one roll, but
So they should have gotten at least one more.
and okay, so is it just physician?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta pull my stupid physician up and see what. Diagnostic manual. What is up with that?
Hmm?
Oh, I've got a modifier. It's like diagnostic manual +2. I'm not sure. I should
That's
end up.
if you're using diagnosis.
No, it's a book,
Yeah.
and it's a modifier
right.
for
Yeah.
physician.
Yeah,
So
it's a modifier for physician, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Groovy.
I believe you were using it.
We
Well, you
would have
gotta
recovered all
do
our
those
stability points overnight.
I believe so. You guys didn't accumulate that many, so that was enough.
So did I need to make 2 more or just the one in that?
Just the
covers
one
both?
for now. The next one
Roger,
will
roger.
come up tomorrow, I believe. So Rogers will get one more point back. And that will have been recovered during the week.
Excellent.
Beyond that, you'll get to check again tomorrow. Assuming you stick to light duty, which is currently what you're doing. Mr. Bold will be doing this as well. He's going to stay seated and relaxed.
Sipping some rum.
While the doctor nags at them.
Oh,
All right,
wait,
so
I'm the one that's sitting here, relaxed, sipping rum.
let's see. All the crew guys are going to be unassigned, I suppose. They're doing things. All right, now, Palange, who would normally be looking for work, knows you don't have any time for that. Also, there's hardly anybody here.
Well, all right.
And Claude is hanging out at the docks.
And writing something up.
Yeah, we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. We've spent enough time on Claude. So, but that is the intent.
Oh. Well, okay, gotcha.
Part guilt, part self-preservation, because Claude really doesn't want to get keel-hauled.
You know, I should make you roll stealth for that. To see if anybody notices.
Claude's got holdout. Would that be more appropriate?
No, this is in general, sort of an overall abstract.
Okay. Do you want it in the box?
No, you'll probably know if you fail.
If
That doesn't
those
look like a fail.
if those stones ever become necessary, Claude better plant them on someone else.
That is a good point. Maybe I can plant them on the monkey.
Why?
Monkey
Although
could plant
it
them on
would
himself.
only, yeah, right. And the funny thing is none of us would be any. There would be no surprise. It'd be like, yep, we kind of figured.
Mm-hmm. You got a perfect scape monkey.
Monkey,
Poor Moom.
He
he
likes,
likes the attention.
Mhm.
Jinx.
Okay, well, nobody calls out Claude for sneaking around like a skulk.
So what
And,
are you doing? Sneaking.
And Claude will deposit the bag of stones somewhere appropriate. Hopefully, the bounty hunter will return and look. In the meantime, your operations for the day will be interrupted.
Uh-oh.
So you guys are sort of starting to split off and do whatever, and you're going to overhear some locals or whatever pointing out the fact that there is a ship here that is arriving, and it's a few miles out. It's like on the other side of the bay, but you can see easily enough that it is single-masted, relatively small, but a little bigger than yours, maybe twice your size.
Is it this
And
little
probably
the
girl?
rum jack.
Probably a little too big to fit down the pass here, except at maybe high tide. Rogers, who is watching, will probably be the first to notice, and Hayden will see it immediately whenever he starts looking around, and that would be that it is sporting a commissioning pennant off the topmast, and that pennant suggests that this is A, captained by a lieutenant, and B, potentially belongs to the Bahamas. That is a Navy ship.
All right. What might Rogers be able to roll against to better understand the context of a Navy ship arriving in this way?
Yeah, Daniel's bad about that.
He does not necessarily need to roll for that in this case. You guys are familiar enough with naval operations in general to know that there are going to be patrols out here, and this is probably a patrol ship. However, the fact that it is stopping here is a little weird. Why would they stop at Harbour Island? As you are observing the situation, you probably glass it. You will notice that they are unloading a boat, and that boat is being filled with Marines and what appears to be a captain and a couple of his men.
Other lobbies can go over.
You will then observe as the boat is being rowed over in the general direction of the town. That is the one that you are at.
Oh, this looks like it could be interesting.
So, given the distance, it will take some time for them to row over here.
We tell them we don't want any.
Well, they're way over there right now. You'd have to
Okay.
yell really loud.
They've been trying to reach us about our boat's extended warranty.
Right.
Well, we know that as soon as the cannon fires, we go, well, time for us to leave.
So, in the probably 30 minutes or so that it's going to take them to row over to the docks you are currently at, is anybody doing anything aside from what they were already doing?
So is the captain on the boat with me?
No,
That's
he'll be
fine.
looking for the maps.
Yeah, that's right. He was looking for maps.
So down in his cabin or off on the shore?
On the shore.
Okay, I'm going to beeline for the captain.
And probably pay for it in bodily pain.
Yeah, I'll wince and huff and puff.
All right, you alert the captain to the incoming boat full of redcoats. Is the captain at all concerned?
Could I do a tactics or seamanship to have any particular insight on potential threats to what we're doing? Or potential, not necessarily threats, but issues.
Well, okay.
If they start shooting at us, it's a problem.
Let's examine the company log real quick. You going all the way back, you guys came out of Kingston, probably nothing there. There was the whole business at Isle Vache. Santo Domingo, probably nothing there. You had the business with the rum jack out of between Barbados and St. Kitts, but I don't see that coming back to bite you necessarily. There was Nassau and the funny business over there, Port-au-Pay before that. Port-au-Pay where you guys did the shindig. So if you had to make, if you had to say that the world revolves
figured it
around
out.
yourselves,
It's
then,
one of Sir Randall's
Yep.
girlfriends has sent the Marines out to bring him back.
Yep. Make a an honest man of me.
you have found
Yep.
me out.
I knew
So
it was
those are
going-
some things that Hayden can think of that could bring the military over to your ship, assuming that that's what they're here for. There is also the Guardacosta aforementioned. So there's any number of reasons why they might want to come here to check on something related. Also, there's a whole bounty hunter thing. You don't know what anybody else knows about that.
So no obvious concerns at this point then.
Nothing immediately obvious.
We always tell them that we have we've already got one.
So quickly, are you going to do anything at this point, like having everybody assemble at the ship, or just leave everybody to what they're doing and to hell with it? Do you even care?
For the most part,
Could be entirely routine.
for the most part, Hayden really wants to get these maps so we've got, a better chance of sailing. As for the other concerns, he doesn't really care, but that's not so much the captain's responsibility. That's Randall as being the mission owner, mission leader. Yeah.
All right. Then you guys will continue on to your business.
But do it quickly.
The boat will eventually arrive. When it does,
Kaboom! Kaboom! Kaboom!
the captain will disembark from the boat and announce to Lieutenant Rogers, who is at the Grace, and say, "I am Lieutenant Edmund Brace of His Majesty's sloop Hazard. I am here to take the captain and crew of the Graceful Dame into my custody for questioning regarding the murder of His Majesty's faithful subject, one Edward Long. Sergeant, please confine this man to his ship until further notice and round up any of the rest."
Who's Edmund Long?
Does Rogers recognize that name?
He does indeed. Although the player might not immediately.
So I have a question.
Crap.
I've got Claude at the docks, like after he went and did his thing, just watching ships sailing. Can he see what's going on?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Claude, once it sinks in what's happening, is gonna bolt for the town to try to find the rest of the crew first.
Ah, gotcha.
If he has not been made.
He's not dead.
Hey, this is gonna be bad because it's gonna be. If they ask me and be like, "Oh, that's the fellow that Sir Randall shot,"
Oh no!
and then showed up later.
So can you back brief the player on how Rogers knows about this guy?
So at Ilavash, on day 2 or 3 of the expedition's beginning, you guys landed at Ilavash to allow Sir Randall to find that compass. And in the process, the Rumjack, captained by Mr. Ned Long, arrived and threatened to kill all of you for knowing about it. And Sir Randall shot him between the eyes. Very, very, as far as he knew, dead. Before, a whole flim-flam erupted involving Dora running out of the jungle and diving into the water and people chasing her and, shit happened.
But this person isn't dead?
Nope. Not really.
You guys also encountered the same fellow, or rather, I should clarify, Randall ran into this same guy at Nassau a week ago. And he was very much not dead. Although he did not say he knew anything about it, and did not claim to actually be that guy.
And so Rogers was present when this Ned fellow got shot?
He was there when he got shot. He didn't see him at Nassau. Now, Payne went back and told everybody that he was there, but you might all think he's nuts. And you might be right.
He might not be very wrong.
Okay, so what does Rogers know about what orders have to be written versus just this man's word that he has the right to take us into custody?
I think Rogers would be aware that this guy, who you've never heard of and don't know at all, probably is not the origin of this, because there's only one person out there that would know who killed Ned Long, and that is Ned Long. So this guy has been given orders to come here and question you guys. Now, he could be taking orders from the Admiralty, but that seems probably a bit of a stretch, since you know that he is part of the Bahama Command here, that it's as likely he could be getting his orders from the governor or one of the governor's administration. But it's hard to say.
Well, way to hose the party there, Sir Randall.
Hey, it keeps things spicy? Question mark?
So he, who did he say specifically he was going to take into custody? All of us?
Yep.
All right. So I'll look at him and say, well, by all means, do what you feel you need to do, Lieutenant. However, I do hope that you're not being sent on a wild goose chase.
He will very subtly roll his eyes before responding. Is your captain aboard, sir?
No, he's not aboard.
At this point, he is going to, let's see, you've got Bold that's definitely aboard still, and I didn't actually put that. Actually, he may just be relaxing somewhere else. He is, so Lieutenant Brace is detaching some men to go round up the rest of the crew. He will ask if you would please cooperate and point out where he can find them. And in specific, the captain.
And,
Now, for the record, this is a really small town, and you could probably see everywhere anybody's gone from the ship. Well, there's a bit of a hill there, though.
I think this is that foreshadowing the GM was talking about last session about why the depth of this area is so important to know, and why the other way out is available to us for the boat, and because their boat probably has a deeper draft, maybe.
Why would we run away?
That ship has definitely got a deeper draft.
Oh, right. I know why we would run away, because you're guilty.
Well, no.
So,
Self-defense.
No, the guy's not dead, and it was self-defense.
is Lieutenant Rogers going to point out where he thinks the captain is?
one moment, please. Yes, he will.
Cute Keystone Cops music.
Very well. Now, Claude was observing this whole thing transpiring, and Claude took off to let other people know that this was also transpiring. So,
Yeah, Claude will make a beeline for the captain first. Capitan! And go through the whole what he saw.
right. So some
Inform
of
the
you will
others.
be caught up before any soldiers catch up to you.
Inform the others. Have them complete what they came here to do quickly, in case we need to make a departure. I will return to the ship.
Yes, Captain. And Claude will go off to find the next one.
All right. So it'll take, I don't know, 15, 30 minutes for everybody's reassembled, but they're probably not going to wait.
The primary concern, though, of the captain is to get the map, and that was his main concern, to do that quickly when he first saw them arriving.
Yeah, he will have been in the process of getting whatever he's getting, and can return to it, providing you don't end up hanging for some reason.
Well, he'll try and get the map before people catch up with him. He wants to finish that
We shall see.
transaction quickly.
Noted.
Well, he wants to try and have the map before getting arrested. So we have the map.
Right.
We have the shortcut.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Hayden will wrap up quickly and return to the ship, at which point he will be greeted by Lieutenant Brace. And
if I may, as the captain arrives, I'll say, Captain, I'd like to introduce you to Lieutenant Haste.
Greetings, Lieutenant. How may I help you?
And he will explain that your ship, the crew of the ship, is under confinement, and that you are to be questioned regarding the murder of Edward Long. And if you would please, sir, step this way to this house that his men have secured for this purpose.
Of course, Lieutenant. May I see your orders, please?
He will produce those orders.
I'll have a read. Does it look legit?
Well,
and more
would you
importantly,
know if they weren't?
More importantly, who signed off on them?
Well, it's a bit of a scribble, but you believe that would be the governor.
He'll look at the orders, he'll hand them back, and he'll say, Lieutenant, if you'll permit me to grab my log.
I would permit and strongly recommend you do so.
And Hayden will go and get the ship's log, or his log, and journals.
Mr. What's your name over there? Escort this man onto his ship. So you go back, grab the log, and go to your interrogation room. In the meantime, as more of the crew are being assembled, they are being directed to get aboard the ship and to remain on deck under guard.
Well, they're going to have to help me lift this stupid thing on the board, because those things are not light.
Yeah, they are not.
What's all this then?
Everybody,
Edward Long? I don't remember any Edward Long.
Apparently, we're under investigation for someone's murder, but I suppose that the fool could have shot himself in the head or neck or arm. I mean, there's so many places an idiot could shoot themselves.
And we
Oh,
only
that's
knew him
true.
as handsome Ned, not Edward, right?
Well, Ned is short for Edward.
Right, but we didn't know him as Edward.
No,
He was
not
never
specifically.
not
Or
specifically
long.
or long.
Honestly,
just
you
doing
guys
this-
didn't really know his name until he showed up at Ilavash.
And even at that, I don't think he gave us his real name.
I think somebody referenced him by name before you met him, or
So,
maybe it was after. I don't remember.
do we know who the lieutenant is talking about?
Oh yeah,
I don't. I have
And-
completely and utterly forgotten this entire incident,
Well, I'm completely and forgotten.
other than Dora.
The player has completely and forgotten the incident.
That's
That's
'cause
like
you're
too
an
long
I
ago.
just explained all that.
Oh, I know.
I know this, but it was self-defense, was it not? We could actually plead self-defense.
Oh well, I mean, yes, he did say he was going to kill you all.
And the events that led up to the shooting would justify self-defense.
Well, I guess that's for you to decide. Well, or for someone else to decide. Possibly.
So
I would
is this
consider it
English
self-defense.
law or naval law that's coming into play?
Yes.
Well, they're both the same.
Is it only Randall that saw him later on?
Wow.
Point of order.
I don't actually know what to do with that.
I think that's going to be one of those where Dr. Spencer is going to, ask to see the orders and then promptly point out several errors in the
Anomalies.
orders as written.
Well, he's not there yet, though.
Well, once he gets there. That's right. It's like, wait a minute, why the hell does the doctor know all this crap about law?
Was it only Randall that saw him later?
It was.
Yes.
And was that mentioned to everyone?
Yes.
So we know that he's not dead.
No, we know that Randall claims he's not dead. Randall might have just
That's
been
true.
drunk, or maybe maybe the dude had a twin brother. Maybe he's triplets.
There's a lot of maybes in this. So,
Maybe it was a fairy.
you will be seated in probably somebody's barn or some foyer somewhere. I don't know. And Lieutenant Brace will enter. He'll have a couple of guards with him, and will begin grilling you.
Grilling for us? What's he grilling?
And the general gist of what he is doing here is he is getting your side of what happened.
Well, first
specifically at Ilavash.
I am unsure of who this Edward Long is.
I'm not
How
talking
is
to
this-
you yet.
Oh,
All right, so the events, Hayden will basically quote his log. He says, as we all know, memory will fade with time. I will refer to my log and I'll turn to the pages and I will read out the log which describes the events, and then I'll turn the log, push it to the lieutenant to confirm what I've read.
And for starters, how will you be proceeding? Are you going to just give him the facts, or are you going to attempt to influence him?
I will attempt to influence him just through, my position and such. But I'm going to be forthcoming. I want to influence him in such a way that he goes, "Oh, maybe our information's wrong." He's not trying to cover shit up.
Well, when I say influence, I am specifically talking about skills.
Well, diplomacy then.
Okay, now hold that thought. So your basic angle here is going to be just the facts.
Pretty much.
All right. So what I will do is have you roll your diplomacy in the box.
Do I get to add my courtesy rank?
I will be considering bonuses and penalties on the side here.
All right, so this will just be a straight roll then.
Yeah, just roll it straight. You have rolled. All right, so let's establish some particulars. You typically dress in a navy reflective manner, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
So you should at least get your courtesy rank as a bonus to that. And that was
5.
You didn't put that down. No, it was 2, I think. It's the status. It's the status for that rank level is what the bonus was supposed to be.
Okay.
So you should put that in your reaction modifiers. And let's see. What else do you think would apply without anything specific? I think overconfidence will apply.
I have the traits. Born war leader.
That does say military officers. That's kind of an odd wording that's in the description there. Maybe it's well, I mean, that could apply. In which case, God help us. Let's see.
No, Hayden will help us by being a born war leader.
So you are just coming out, letting your outfit do the talking for you, and trying to sound like a captain.
Correct.
And no small talk, just get to it, shove the facts out there, and get on with it.
He will be curious as to, to send a warship to find, the murder of someone that appears to be mostly a nobody. Seems a little extreme. So Hayden will ask, what is the significance of Edward Long? Why send a ship that could be better served, doing other things? It doesn't seem fitting.
As you've been getting into the interrogation, the guy seems fairly, I wouldn't say amicable, but you guys clearly got the Navy vibe going on there. So he's respectful of your courtesy rank and all that, and you're clearly bringing that across. So he's been pretty receptive to you so far. And so you've gone through your story and you told him, you asked him the question, what the hell? And he's like, orders are orders, sir. You know that. I don't ask questions.
but it does seem a bit excessive.
Oh, it is. I have better things to do right now, to be frank. But you didn't hear that from me.
Of course.
The governor says, go do this thing, I go do this thing, even if the accuser seemed a bit seedy to me.
Well, as you've seen in my log, he was not an upstanding gentleman. And I'm sure he has not, or we were not the first that he has tried to meddle with.
I will admit that I did overhear them say that he was a king's man. Do you know anything about that?
And king's man means what?
That being, he is some kind of agent. Quite possibly a secret agent.
Even a secret agent, man.
Could I roll against my trademark?
Well, if that is the case, he did not act in a manner befitting to his station.
For the record, Lieutenant Rogers is not currently in the room.
Okay.
But hold that thought.
Nice try.
Yeah.
However,
so...
I do believe that Edward Long is not dead. And then I'll refer to later in the log where I've written that Randall had reported that Edward Long was...
Sir Randall.
Or Sir Randall had reported that he'd seen Edward Long in Nassau. He'll turn to that page in the log, and again he'll read from it, and then turn the log back to the lieutenant to read.
You're going to see the look on his face change a little bit to something a little less amicable as he points out to you that, okay, so here in your log you say that this man was killed. And here in the log you say this man was not killed. These two things don't work.
Of course, I understand that. We thought him dead, but we did see him again, as you see in my log. And there would be, Hayden has like poetry and writing, so there would be some flair to what he's written. Right. It wouldn't just be straight facts, it'd be colourful language. He would be reporting that this is an oddity. Perhaps we thought he was dead, but he had survived his injury. He would probably, he'd be putting some thoughts as to why he wasn't dead in the log.
Like at the Nassau entry.
Yes. So it'd be things like perhaps he wasn't dead. Maybe we only thought him dead. Things like that.
Well, surely there would be some evidence of him being shot in the forehead, but you do say you didn't see him. I understand there is a Sir Randall Payne on your crew who was the accused trigger puller, and it seems here that you say he is the one that saw him alive later. Do you think it's possible that he was fabricating this story?
Yes.
Does Hayden have any reason to think that Randall would be fabricating a story?
I don't know, do you?
What sort of traits does Randall have?
Oh,
does he have?
He's gonna absolutely not tell you that he probably has compulsive liar.
Nope, I don't have that. I actually don't have that. Let's see.
I don't
Good
know if I can
looking. I have
believe
an
you. You could be compulsively
I-
lying right now.
I mean, you know him to be hot-headed and brash, kind of the daredevil-y type. Good looking with an honest face. Has a sense of intuition, which I keep forgetting that I have.
I keep
Lucky
forgetting
at
that
times.
too.
Lucky at times. Quite the mouth on him. He can talk himself. He can sell ice to Eskimos. Friendly sort. Quite the gentleman. Has a weird belief that mermaids are real. That has it out for a one Bonsanade, a rivalry with said. Impulsive.
Who's totally responsible for this, by the way?
Yep. Right. That's right.
I
definitely
just
All right, that's enough.
Yep.
Since you mentioned the Boissinade thing, you will realize that if this were to go ill, it could result in your hanging. So that might be a bit extreme for Boissinade, but maybe
You're right,
he's
that is
just
true.
trying extra hard.
So Hayden will say, Sir Randall is an eccentric and somewhat charismatic character, but I've not known him to be dishonest or deceitful. I see no reason for him to have lied about the sighting of Edward Long.
Very well, sir. I shall question him next, and thank you for your frankness.
And then
Sergeant,
Mark's going to come
please
in there and
escort this
lie
fellow
his
back
ass
to
off.
his ship. And you will be escorted back to your ship. And Sir Randall Payne will be called up.
Hello, my peoples. I don't actually introduce myself that way. Not at all.
So, Sir Randall will be escorted to the interrogation place and similarly placed in the chair where he will be
I will
questioned.
not be placed. I am of much higher status. I will sit myself.
He
Thank
will
you.
be pointed to the chair where he will sit himself and then be grilled in like manner. So, I will ask the same of you, whether or not you intend to intentionally influence him and with what.
Oh, absolutely intentional. He influenced him. Hold on. I'm having some weird issues clicking on things. So give me a second here. I'm trying to.
Did he just keel over and die?
No,
I think he did.
I'm here. I'm just.
Herniated
I don't know
out.
what's going on.
It's living with a hernia.
I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on either.
It's like everything I'm trying to click on is not clicking. That's so I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
So it's your mouse?
No, because it's clicking on other things.
I think you're making excuses.
Hold on, let me see.
Stop vamping, Mark. We see how it
I'm
is.
not. I don't need to. My luck's
You're
already
absolutely vamping.
my luck's already reset, so I don't have to worry about vamping. I'm trying to make sure I can actually. There. Okay. Apparently.
All right. Well, talk me through it.
Okay. So, what I am going to be doing is, I know for a fact, and I am confident that there is no way that this is going to stick. I will. Let's see how to play this. I will play up my status to get that. I'm going to start with a diplomacy and bring him around to in a friendly nature. But as it will probably come down, I will definitely use fast talk in a way to indicate that har, this is such the most unusual and cruelest joke to be played by said Ned, in that he is not dead, and this is probably some way of getting back at me for a kerfuffle that we did have on a beach one time, in which we did best him, but we left him for certain alive.
Okay, well, that's probably not going to be fast talk, because fast talk is trying to confuse them. Or
Oh, no, he
to trick
confused me.
them. And you're not really doing that here. You're just giving them the same facts. So,
Well, I'm leaving out the part that
diplomacy is
I did,
probably
in fact,
appropriate.
shoot him in the head and completely intentionally meant to kill him. I'm leaving that part out
but he
for
was
sure.
a bad man, right?
So
He was.
you're not
And-
giving the whole truth, but you're not necessarily trying to trick him either. So, or confuse
But I will
him. So,
also try and lead him to believe that maybe this whole thing is a ruse on Ned's part,
Right.
as a Kingsman thing. Some weird.
so noted. So,
He's going to make it worse.
go ahead and roll your diplomacy in the box. You can include your status if you want to go ahead and do that, because that will definitely apply.
Back. Why is it not adjusting? Hold on.
You're doing it wrong.
And I will throw every point that I need to get a crit success, if necessary.
Understood. Right, your status too. I forgot that.
I will not
Okay.
be touched by like
Which
some
is why
commoner.
people should not be referring to him as Randall. They should be always referring to him as Sir Randall.
So, he asked you for your side of the story, and he is very polite when he does it. And you start giving your spiel, including your opinions about why this might be happening in the first place. Now, at this point, he does do some back and forth on the nature of the questions that you're bringing up. That being the fact that you have just admitted to the fact that you shot a man in the forehead.
I didn't
Who
admit
was,
it. Nope. I don't say that I shot anyone.
Oh, did you not?
I did say that there was a kerfuffle, an argument had arisen, but I left that beach and he was very much alive. Now that is a lie.
Oh,
Or
so
at least-
you are saying that he was alive when you left.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know that we reported him in the log. dead.
We would. So
Well, maybe not.
he was not. So any injury he sustained was not life threatening, as only within the past few days was he in Nassau. And
no,
I'm
he is
sure
gonna-
very ill of feelings towards me and my crew. Hence, probably using whatever leverage he may have, which is very ungentlemanly of some of the, if manners maketh the man, then he is definitely not the man he claims to be. If he is a king's man, seems very out of sorts.
He is. When you start getting into his reappearance, he will ask you for more details, pointing out the fact that you are apparently the only one that saw this man alive. And
There were many witnesses. I will throw Bonsanod. I will definitely throw Bonsanod's name under the bus there. The inn for which we were, the place that we met, and those who were in attendance.
Monsieur Boissonade, you say? He's the captain of what?
I give him the name of the ship.
La Dame Blanche. La Dame Blanche. Did I not? Was that not? That was there not so long ago. I think I remember that ship.
As you said, and I will describe it and in that way that is so descriptive that it helps him remember.
Yes, you can't trust a Frenchman.
Agreed. French ladies, on the other hand,
Now those you can definitely not trust.
you must keep a much more wary eye out.
So other than that, you are so you're just letting that fall, and he apparently is eating it up, as far as you can tell. Body language you're getting from him is he's fairly relaxed.
I
And
want him to kind of be annoyed that he was called out here, in a seeming ploy to waste it and play up that this is an absolute waste of his time. And if I even have if necessary, that we will float our ship back to Nassau and help him look.
right. Okay. Now, what I was going to say was his body language is more relaxed, or relieved, I think is the word I was looking for.
Because he's got his man. He's going to get
Maybe.
to hang at night.
Who hangs at midnight?
If he's not buying your story, it's not obvious to you that he isn't. So he will apologize for detaining you and let you know that you will
Mistakes do
be.
happen, and you are only doing your job, which I'm sure that you have many details to work. And having something like this come up certainly does not, aid in the completion of the more difficult and proper tasks.
I do thank you, sir, for your frankness. Mr. Bob here will escort you back to your ship, and will fetch us the next one. Lieutenant Rogers will be in the chair next, and how will he explain himself?
Hello, Lieutenant Brack. How are you?
And he's already knocking off a couple of points.
I see you've been able to speak to a few of my crewmates. I see none of them have left here crying, so I doubt your skills as an interrogator instantly.
Wow. Come right out and start insulting them. What's up with that?
So how might I be of some help to you?
What are you gonna call this?
Insulting.
So same spiel. Are you attempting to specifically influence him, and with what skill would you be trying to do that? It sounds like you're trying to goad him into a fight, though.
I'm aware of what was written in our log.
You are, and you were also present on the beach when it happened.
Right. So I'll simply say this is a complete farce. Everything we did was done in a manner of self-defense under maritime law. We are in the right in this manner. And as far as I'm concerned, the man simply should have kept his peace.
Are you going to use a skill to influence him, or just let his natural reactions fall where they may?
Oh, I suppose I could use diplomacy.
You could if you like. If you do like, you can throw that in the box.
With Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Now, are you actually insulting him?
Oh, only if he finds that insulting. Or does he appreciate good banter?
Well, we're 1700s British. We're like, got a super big stick up our butts.
Let's see. How would he respond?
Need to congratulate him on his perspicacity, sir.
Now, if I recall correctly, Rogers, does he dress Navy-like still?
Well, considering the time period, I don't think they actually had formal uniforms until later. But
Right.
he certainly dresses like a dandy.
So not necessarily reflective of his courtesy rank.
No, definitely more reflective of his amazing personality.
Right.
Hoorah.
Does he have an amazing personality?
I think so. That should count.
So you don't have charisma or anything like that? No, nothing specific.
No, just his pluses from the overconfidence and Mariner.
Mariner. What's Mariner? Is that talent?
Yes, I believe so.
Then that should apply to this guy if this guy's Navy. Because normally they'll say, yeah, you get this kind of bonus on.
Yeah, but that depends on whether or not you can demonstrate that. In the case of Haydn, he was sort of demonstrating his leadership abilities. So I went ahead and counted that. Whereas in Roger's case with the seamanship, only if the issue of seamanship actually comes up in the conversation, which it could.
Yeah, it could be part of his conversation where he's like, describing, the location and such like that, and just using all sorts of sailor jargon that normal people don't understand.
Let me see a thing. Where did I put you? Damn it, why didn't I put it here where it would have made sense? So I have to scroll all the way up to find it. And I didn't bloody put it what the hell? I think somebody keeps going in and deleting my frigging notes.
Yep, that's me.
Stop it.
He's found it out.
Keep
That
in
is
mind,
not
if you have
helpful.
lots of notes, you have to scroll. There's like pages.
Okay. He is going to accuse you of being rude.
Oh,
How
gonna have
rude.
to get into a duel.
Hey, if it gets my head out from under the noose, I say go for it.
And aside from not liking you very much, he says he will eventually admit to the fact that they don't really have anything on you, and we have no real cause to keep you here. So he is going to finish his duty and question the crew, and
He said, "Dude."
and you can go and do as you like.
Get out of my
No.
face.
Very well, very well.
In the meantime,
This has been
I
a
don't have
complete
time
waste
for
of
any of this.
Yes, I agree. It's been a complete waste of my time and everyone else's time, and I bid you adieu, Lieutenant Brack.
Sergeant, return this man to his ship.
Yes,
Catch me in
Sergeant.
the next
Please
one.
return me. I have no idea where I'm going. I'm sure you, being a bright fellow, know exactly where to take me.
The next one to enter the chair will be Spencer.
This is going to be awesome. Guy's immediately going to go, I don't trust this guy. He has an ill-favored look.
Yeah. He has that raised eyebrow looking at you like, what the hell's up with this guy? So, the usual bevy of questions here. are you going to influence him, and how?
Well, I am going to utilize that critical success in law to
Use
start.
that as influence.
Yeah, to start picking at the stuff. And also, this is sort of need to check this. Good. So I don't have to apply any of those penalties.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. Okay, so first thing you do is you start picking apart the orders and picking apart the situation and picking apart the legal bits and pieces, and you don't have any
Exactly.
evidence, and yeah.
And then it's
And,
like, so what's your job? Oh, I'm the doctor. And, I did not see any of this. It was a chaotic situation, then I don't really remember it very well.
he keeps up relatively well, but
Jolly good.
he concedes all your points and apologizes and promises to let the governor know of the mistakes that he made in his orders. And
It's a pity we don't have red ink. I could totally go in there.
No,
and
sir, that
draw
won't be necessary. Thank you very much. Sergeant, if you will please escort this man back to his ship and fetch the next one.
Spencer rewrites the order to make it actually binding.
It's like, yes, thank you very much. Now I'll take Sir Randall into custody. Oh, sorry.
Next one to enter the chair will be Davino.
Who needs
Who
to
is
just
probably
speak
the
in his
last
native
officer.
language?
Hello.
Sir, you'll have to leave the monkey behind.
Any particular reason? He's
We
emotional support monkey, you see.
Is he a material witness?
He was present.
He's certainly a witness and is material.
I'll totally
Do not
stick my head and
understand
go,
your
he was
English.
present. The monkey was present.
Are you going to actually try to convince them to allow the monkey to come along?
Yeah.
Do it.
He's Boom. It's Davino and Boom, of course.
Okay, so this is going to be the red coat that came to fetch you that you're trying to convince. How are you going to do that?
Very carefully.
Well, you see, he's a deaf monkey. He goes with me everywhere. If he does not come with me, I might lose him. And well, he's expensive money. You don't find explosive monkeys everywhere all so often.
3 dots are.
Is that
Is
that diplomacy or is it fast talk? Are you just trying to mess with him?
Pretty much just mess with him. I don't have diplomacy, don't have fast talk.
You should just tell the guy, you try and stop the monkey from following me.
Okay. Then give me a reaction in the box. Actually, you know what? You can just give me it open.
He doesn't care.
He rolls his eyes like, fine.
You're a good man.
All right, you're in the chair with the monkey, apparently, who Lieutenant Brace keeps eyeing suspiciously.
The monkey did it.
Is the monkey truly necessary? So,
Yes.
same questions as before. Are you attempting to influence him, and how?
Let's see. A little bit. So let's see here. He is going to. He's essentially just going to try to annoy him. He's going to just play up the hard of hearing and being a loud talker. Just answer every question loud and obnoxiously, and just overly beat him with savoir-faire Navy. Just continuously over, so yes, sir, and just be loud and obnoxious.
All right. Did you actually have the odious personal habit or something? I don't recall
Yes.
ever actually
Odious
running into
yeah.
that.
He does. Loud talker.
Wow. Okay. So you are going to get the -1 for that. Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, I'll take a savoir-faire Navy for that. In the box.
Oh, that's not the box.
18.
That's the box.
18.
All right. And so you've got no bonuses that I can think of, and you are being annoying.
Yes.
So he's already getting towards the halfway, or he's not even to the halfway point yet, and now he's having to deal with this guy who doesn't speak English very well and doesn't apparently hear very well, and although he's being very
And had the
subservient,
monkey.
And every so often he'll just gesture to Boom and try to get just Boom to like chirp or make a noise and just generally disrupt and
right.
just be annoying.
Well, you have succeeded. He is very annoyed with you. And eventually he gives up and just, Sergeant, take this man back to the ship.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to work under you, sir. Happy to have met you, sir.
And for the sake of expedience, although Claude may not have been the next in line, we'll have Claude in the seat next.
Claude was on the ship at the time, wasn't she? She?
I think that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's a NPC.
So we won't have much to add.
Yeah, Claude will basically go in, paint the honest face on.
Do you have
and-
honest face?
Yep.
That's awesome. We have 2 PCs with honest face and 1 with dishonest. And the one with dishonest is more honest than the 2 with honest face.
Yep. Gotta
True.
can't trust that honest. Wait, you have to trust. Wait, you can't trust the
Yeah.
honest.
You can trust. You can trust.
I
him.
really want to see this guy interviewing Dora.
Now, what I
She's a
would-
passenger.
what Mel would love for this to happen, instead of just we were on the ship, you don't know anything, is for Claude to go full chunk from Goonies and like start at the very beginning in tears and cry all the way up to the But no,
Nice.
Claude is basically gonna be, I don't know anything. I work on the ship and look very honest.
All right. So effectively, you're just going to take the reaction and the honest face.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll get
Yeah.
that credit. So he will recognize that you don't actually know anything here and send you back.
Actually, he may end up requesting Dora's presence because I know Spencer would have mentioned that, that's where we rescued her.
That's
Speed the
true.
thing up.
So that was about what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 5 minutes or so. That's probably about 30 minutes. And now he's at the halfway point, so he's got 30 more minutes to go through the rest of the crew. And just because it's funny, you got the interrogation montage from Firefly here, where
Who's Jane?
Jane is Dora. Dora gets in there and doesn't say anything, and he keeps asking her questions, and she just nods or
I would have
doesn't nod.
totally told the Marine guy. It's like she's a mute. She can't speak.
And then the Marine leans over and says, "She's mute, sir." Oh, right.
The doctor said he could translate. That would be funny. It's like, no, I'm sorry, sir. I cannot tell you what she just signed.
Mr. Bold basically comes in there and tells it like it is, says he was in the ship's boat some distance from shore. He observed what happened. He does not say that Sir Randall shot him before any weapon was pointed at Sir Randall, but he does say that the man was shot. I didn't see whatever it was, so
Because
Mr.
that was at the
Moggridge.
same point that the other dudes came charging out of the trees.
It was very confusing. Mr. Moggridge has a fairly similar story. Says he didn't see anything, which is true because he was on the ship at the time. Although he's a little nervous being in the presence of this authority. When Furlong is brought in, actually,
You should probably put the thing up with all the NPCs.
I should probably put the thing up with all the NPCs. Mr. Furlong, when he comes in, he's got a bit of a shiner underneath his eye because he's insulted the guard that brought him here. But he's starting to go off on a tangent about how he's not responsible and yada 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 before he actually gets to asking the question. Oh, this is about that. Well, that's different. So then he changes his tune.
Absolutely, Sir Randall shot that fellow.
Ollie is in the chair, and they keep talking back and forth. There's a little bit of an accent problem there, as you might expect.
Because
But
Ollie's Scott.
he's a little confused about the situation because he was aboard the ship and he didn't see anything, and the lieutenant is getting confused by his getting confused, and they confuse each other. But otherwise, Ollie's told basically everything he saw and didn't embellish. When Red is in the chair, he just starts going on and doing the Goonies thing. And even though he saw absolutely nothing, the lieutenant knows exactly everything that ever happened to Mr. Shirt.
Beautiful.
And then, last but not least, Hooper is in there, and he keeps asking questions back. Every time the lieutenant asks him a question, he responds to the question and asks another question back at him. And it's all just little innocent stuff like, "What? So how long have you been in the Navy? How's that? And how does that work exactly? What is the legal situation here? Can they actually shoot him?" But like the others, he was not in a position to see anything, and so he really didn't have anything to add. And after at least an hour has passed, everybody will have been returned to the ship, and Lieutenant Brace and all the soldiers will approach, and Haydn's presence will be requested again, at which point the lieutenant will say that you and your crew are free to go.
That
I
seems
see no
odd.
reason to press this. There is no evidence. I've done my duty. I've questioned everyone. I've written thorough notes.
You have served His Majesty well. Good day to you, sir.
And he will nod back and order the men to ready the boat.
If there is one more thing, Captain or Lieutenant.
Sir.
I wonder if it's possible that I could have access to your charts. I assume they are very current.
That is an unusual request.
Well, is it really?
Our next
Well,
destination requires us
He is
to...
a Navy captain. These are Navy records.
Our next destination requires us to sail some troublesome waters, and I was hoping to have the most accurate information I could.
When do you sail?
How is the tide? Have we missed our window?
So You guys are not. You guys don't have to sail with the tide. Your draft is just shallow enough that you can get in and out of here without the tide. Although the tide would be better. And where did I put that?
Over there. No, over there.
No,
Not there.
it's not that. Once again. Did I put that up there? Yes. Okay. I really should have put that somewhere else. So the high tide is at 0930 and 2150. So in the evening. About the time your guys having the fight last night.
We hope to set sail as soon as possible.
Says, well,
And
expect
Hayden
we
will say,
won't,
unfortunately, this your presence here has delayed us.
I do apologize for that, sir. If you will, we will not be leaving until the morning, I expect. We could stand to stretch our legs. If you are passing by the north route, we'll be anchored. You can visit there, and we'll see about getting you the information you need.
Thank you, sir.
Perhaps write a letter of recommendation.
Of course.
And with that, he will depart. Well, nobody hanged. Got hanged.
I was expecting Sir Randall to get strung up.
Me too.
Just getting a little worried about the Rogers there. And I meant to bring up, and I will just to cover all the bases. Hayden has the code book that you guys recovered from the rum jack.
Oh yeah, you probably shouldn't have that.
Well, it's not that Hayden shouldn't have it, but the expectation was that that may have belonged to Mr. Long.
Oh, okay.
Now, you guys did not apparently bring up the rum jack or your later encounters with it, or any of that. So
It
it's
was
not really
pertinent
necessary.
to the case at point.
Well, tangentially, perhaps.
We were doing just the facts, ma'am.
So, if you wanted to have brought that up, I'll give you the retroactive opportunity. Seeing as I forgot to bring it up in the first place.
Does the code book actually service any purpose now? I mean, at all?
Not really. It's not 100% current.
That might be
I don't
something
recall.
that when Hayden goes over to get the
Possibly.
the charts, he may say, "Oh, by the way, this came into my possession," and blah blah blah, and further improve the dude's opinion toward you.
We could do that.
You guys also didn't mention the kidnapping.
No.
Yeah. That's a local matter, right?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
And Hayden took care of it. So Randall has no reason to bring it up again.
All right. Well, given all that, this is a good time as any for a brief intermission. And
Is
then
it-
we will return to it. And my stupid intermission link is not bloody working for some reason.
All right, so
I
going
will
on
not
break.
have an intermission without the link. Hold on. Okay, now we can have an intermission.
All right.
Hey.
All right, we're back.
He did the thing.
And we're back. As stated. So, outside of the interruption, we will deal with the shore business we were getting started with before. So, you guys will get back to it. In the case of, well, let's just go down the list here. Start with Spencer and the
Merchanting.
merchant or the chest. Start with the chest first. So, Spencer will go back to Mr. Friendly, and as previously discussed on the previous night, he will attempt to purchase said chest from him. He will start by offering to sell it to you for 20 guineas. That is about 21 pounds, which is definitely less than the general asking price for a brand new one. Not quite half.
Well, I'd like to look through it, make sure everything's there, and use that as a way to bring the price down if possible. You know, with the merchant. Is it merchant haggling?
It would be merchant, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a pretty decent roll. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible.
All right. Now, if I recall correctly,
I got it for free. That's what it means.
no, it doesn't, but that's a decent roll. And
It's because
that
it's missing some
is-
really important stuff.
That one is not the thing I wanted, and now I'm realizing that I probably haven't written that part down. Stand by one moment.
One moment has
To
passed.
see if I actually did. No, that's that. Yeah, I totally didn't.
You're just dropping the ball all over the place.
I know, right?
Welcome to
and I
GMing.
don't want to actually get out of position to write that down, so hopefully I'll catch myself in the recording. So in this case, then we will just do the 10% thing. So, he is going to resist your attempts to haggle him down.
But he's going to roll an 18
And
and give it to me for free.
he's he is gonna drive a pretty hard bargain. You're gonna have to get an assist on that to get him to take it down a notch. Now, given what you had described, I think you could legitimately use some kind of medical skill, perhaps surgery or physician, to
Okay. Yeah,
complement
that'll
that.
work. That'll work. You know, you'll point out, okay, well, it's missing this and this and this. And look at these. These are garbage.
What if it's well stocked and it says, oh, it has this, this, and this, so the price should go up?
Zhoosh.
And just to move things along, you could potentially get a trade-in value for your existing gear.
That's also true.
Which, being of lesser quality, would be easier for him to offload.
I would be willing to do that.
So he will give you he will agree to give you a discount for the additional or for the replacement. And we'll knock that down to 15 guineas.
Jolly good.
So
where do we keep that information? Is that on the spreadsheet?
no, that is, hold on. So that is going to come to £15.75. And that is on the party sheet where I've been keeping track of the company funds. Well, actually, there is a bit on the spreadsheet as well. So minus 15. No, yeah. Yeah, we'll round it and call it 16.
Right, party sheet.
Okay.
I was like, what are we talking about? Party sheet. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
okay,
party
the
sheet.
party sheet.
And let's see, is that going to go under trading? Probably going to go under trading. So no, that'll go under miscellaneous. So we will reduce that. Oh crap, that's in GURPS though. I have to go back and do that later. All right, well, we'll make a note. 16 pounds will be deducted from the account. And you now have good quality medical chest.
Huzzah.
Fully stocked. With only a little water damage on the case.
I shall take it back to the boat.
Next item. Let's see.
I then have to try to find
Okay.
some cargo.
Oh, that's what I was going to be doing while you were doing that stuff.
Okay.
Ah,
I
cool,
was
cool.
going to take my hand at it.
He'll catch up to you. So we will do that next. So that was going to be skill merchant. You guys don't have local area knowledge enough to assist with that. But when Spencer gets back, he can assist with his own merchant. You have
And just
for
to
the
continue
population
the
here.
to continue Sir Randall's joking misconception, totally going to be with Dora, and she's still going to be wearing my long coat.
Hang on, let me find that stupid thing.
You're looking in the wrong place.
No, I'm not this time.
I'm really not much of a help, am I?
So that is going to be -2 for the population.
Right. What is your merchant level there, Mark?
12.
And
okay, so
what
I have
are
a
we
13.
searching for specifically?
Any kind of trade goods that might fetch some money.
Okay, you're looking for speculative.
I guess. Oh.
Because freight is somewhat less likely. You'd have to, in fact, that's going to be -8 to -9. Well, -9 for passengers, -8 for freight. Because you're going to Havana. That's about 400 some odd nautical miles. And
Might
although
buy
that is
some
a
of
big
that
town,
some of that goods that were pulled up from a wreckage that they want to
That
sell.
is potentially true. There is a fair amount of goods available. So, normally this would require 2 days to search. I decided that I would cut that in half from the start for 1. So if you took the whole day to do the search, then you could succeed at that. If you are cutting it short, as discussed, this would probably be half, so -5, which would end up with a total of -7. So you can either take the whole day and just the -2, or you can try to get it all done real quick and take the -5
Well, we're trying to get out of here,
or
so
7.
I mean, it's a long shot.
It is.
Oh,
And
close.
well, let's see if I can't. Yeah. Well, mine was worse.
That's true. Oh, well, yours didn't need to be.
I was trying to assist.
Yours didn't
though.
need the penalty, though.
Okay, then he only failed by 1 instead of 2.
Sorrento could squeeze another point out of that.
Oh
In
yeah.
a couple of ways.
If you fail by 1,
Pay a little bit
I'm
by
gonna
what is
give-
it? There was
I'm going to give you a hint just because it's been a while and you haven't done this, so you need to catch up. You used to buy people drinks for this sort of thing.
carousing.
carousing.
So I'm going to show up and he's got half the people drunk.
Yep.
All right, so that gets you +2 to the merchant roll, and that'll get you over the hump. So you will find at least 1 lot, and there is at least 1 lot available. So let me check and see if that's just 1 ton or is it more than that. No,
It's all
that's
the tons.
1 group. No, that's not right. God damn it. Why are the notes always wrong?
It's kind of like
It's-
why the rum's gone.
Oh, I know why the
It
rum's
is kind of
gone.
like that.
If the rum's gone, that means I've been around and I drank it all.
Drink the rum.
God damn it, I have to go dig it up. All right, you know what? It's let's just do it this way.
It's all
Give
the
me
tons.
1d3.
I can do that. I can do that. Do I do that again? It
I
was
did
too slow.
Oh, okay.
the shift, right?
He beat you to it. No.
Right click on D6, click on the custom dice, and then you can select D3.
Oh no, that's 3 dice. Hold
Yeah, don't click it 3 times.
Yeah, I already did it. Sadly, I only rolled a 1. What would my second one be? Oh man, I would have preferred that one.
Well, all right. So, do we want to do it for real this time?
Yeah,
I'll take
go ahead,
it.
Mark. I absolutely won't be sitting here about to doing it again. Figure.
All right. Well, you can as you're doing your running around for the day, you can get 1 ton of goods in the time it's going to take to actually be able to leave before the sun goes down.
That's
So,
I did a thing.
Oh, we got crappy stuff out there. We really want to leave at night.
well, if you leave before the sun goes down, you could at least yeah, it's things.
Words. Use your words. Right. Okay. Who's next? I think that might be it. Other than Captain Hayden going to go get the charts.
Well, we're
probably
not,
while
we're not quite done yet.
Sure, we are.
Okay. I cannot fucking remember where this shit is, and my notes are stupid. Just gonna roll it. Okay. So you are going to get 1 ton of goods at
Oh, right. We have to buy
the
the goods.
purchasing price was 1250 GURPS for 1 ton, and they are offering it at They are offering it at 500 GURPS, which is not bad. Will you purchase these goods at 500 GURPS?
I thought we weren't supposed to use GURPS anymore.
I
Dylan.
know it's a thing I did to make things easier, and I keep wanting to correct it and then remembering, no, this was here to make it easier. So, are you going to haggle?
That's you, Mark.
Haggle.
You don't have to. It's a pretty good price.
I'm gonna haggle. I mean, it's generally not a make it worse thing, right?
You could make it worse.
Oh, where? Okay, where? Other merchant. Ha ha! I made it worse.
You made it
Yeah.
worse.
Well, let's see what their will check was. Maybe they're sufficiently drunk. Well, I guess that would be merchant in their case.
I was trying to help, and I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, they're not having it. That's as low as I can go.
And that's the price we must pay. Another round for my friends.
All right, so I am going to mark you down for 1 ton of goods purchased at 500 GURPS, and we will enter that into the log. Spent.
And I'm going to have to leave while Randall is wooing the innkeeper ladies because I don't want to see this garbage. I mean,
Well, I
it's
can't
one in every
make-
port. This is a port.
Now,
But we haven't really been here long enough.
That's why I'm leaving because I'm like, damn, dude.
actually, is this a woman?
Not a woman.
Not a woman.
Give me a universe roll.
Oh, that is wrong.
So, is it good if it's a woman or bad if it's a woman? I suppose it's good. You might be
Yes.
closer to have gotten a success. So, yeah, good. It'll be a woman.
Universe is
neutral.
cold and indifferent,
Yeah,
so
no,
he can't
it's
tell.
fine.
It's a dude.
Or he can't tell. Probably a dude.
All right, so so the thing I was going to mention is, given that this was speculative cargo, you don't have to actually deliver it to Havana. You could actually save it for somewhere else that is not closed, so you don't have to smuggle it. But
Smuggled cargo, does that make it more valuable
No,
or
look,
less?
it's
Or
done.
the same?
Here it is.
well, they're not going to pay more for cargo that you smuggled because typically that is trying to get around the fact that you have to pay more to do it legally.
Watch it.
But if you don't smuggle it, you can't sell it at all,
Right.
or you have to pay a bunch of extra. But in this case, not at all. All right, so you have managed to scrape together some goods. You got interrupted in the middle of that process. But you got back to it, and you can actually get that loaded in time. If you are attempting to leave tonight.
Yeah.
The other part of that was the pilot. And let me check and see if there was anything else that I had on the list of things to do here. Okay, not there. And everybody else wasn't doing anything. So, was Hayden helping with the merchanting?
No, he was going to try and find the map.
Right, he was doing the map thing. That's what it was. Okay, let's do that first. So you'll need to do an IQ check -2 for the population.
Succeed. By 1.
Sorry, I have to actually push the button. You managed to find somebody with the information you need. Do a universe reaction roll to see if that includes an actual map or just the directions. And it's going to hang. Oh,
It's an actual
that's
map.
Good.
That's
Okay.
better than directions are like, yeah, don't crash on the reef. Yeah, thanks, bro.
So, now that I think of it, I didn't actually look to see how much a map is. Actually, maybe in the items. Hold on. That's not in there. That's going
I
to be...
have 150 GURPS in my brain somewhere. For
That
maps.
sounds right.
We're not supposed to use
It's not
GURPS
in
anymore.
Tools. It's not going to be in medical gear.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking through the items for that. I'm going to have to actually search for it that way. That
thought you
did
had
not
rank.
actually work.
There is no map in the items if you do a search, unless it's
Yeah, I
not
could have sworn it did.
public.
Okay, somebody, we have a map somewhere. If I can't find it, we'll just say it was 150 and see if that gets us where we need to go.
However, I will compare
Not
that
on the party
chart
sheet.
with what we have. And I guess either a cartography or navigation roll.
Map in waterproof case. Rogers has one.
Yeah, you'd probably want to get together with Rogers and have the two of you going over it.
Yeah, you guys will definitely want to do that.
Because we haven't heard Nosh say enough tonight. He's over there
He has been
pulling an
quiet.
Androcus.
It's been a quiet night for Rogers.
He's resting, remember? He's hurt.
That's true.
He's role-playing it so well.
That is amazing. We're giving you a golf clap right now.
I hope I'll get some extra bonus points for all this amazing role playing I'm doing.
You might.
Yeah, I thought there was a link you had put somewhere that had era appropriate stuff, but I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, but there's not a map on there. I would have loved to have found that somewhere. No. Nope. And of course, it's not on this goddamn list.
150 GURPS it is.
Map, there it is. Okay. It says 100 plus. 100 GURPS.
which is whatever it is in pounds
I can find that out
or
easily enough.
shilling. Oh yeah, I need to start finding some money on the ground.
That will be £1, which is, not cheap. All right, so Hayden goes searching about for somebody who has an actual map of the Bahamas, and specifically the Bahama Bank, and he does in fact find somebody, and who is willing to sell that map for £1.
That makes sense considering if they make their money doing the wrecking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Yeah,
I
it's entirely equal
can I use a
Dutch.
skill to verify that map?
You could probably use navigation and verify it that way,
Or cartography. Yep, it's a map.
or cartography.
I have both. Which would you prefer?
Hey, I have cartography
Either one will do. Just pick the highest, I guess.
and navigate. Oh wait, no, I don't have any points in navigation.
Wow.
I'm glad that I rolled navigation and not cartography.
Oh,
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
have been crit fail otherwise, right?
all right. Well,
It looks like a map to you.
it's better than what you got, I guess.
All right. Well, I have no other reason to question its validity, so I'll take it.
Well, he's like, he can't spend enough time looking at it because he has a coughing fit.
And if I'm not mistaken, that is everybody except for the pilot. You guys decided you're going to go out on your own for the Bahama Bank, so you just need a pilot to get you out of the bay. Now, this is one day after you got here. So what I'm going to do in this case is, if you want to go look up the guy that brought you in the first place, I'll say that you can find him. The question is he available? In which case, I will make you do a universe reaction check. And if it's on the positive side of neutral, he will be available. He is not available. You will have to find someone else. Or get lucky and pick it yourself. You
What's
could
the
maybe
sort of
remember how
penalty?
you did it. Do it.
What was the sort of penalty that we'd have to deal with? Without a pilot?
In this case, because you came down through that pass yesterday, so you can kind of remember where it goes. There's a chance you're going to end up on a bank and end up stuck.
Could we take a precaution and row the boat? So get people in longboats and tow us through the water.
You have one cockboat, and you don't have any sweeps for the boat itself, although that's something you should probably think about eventually. That is, oars long enough to row the ship. And
I was about to say you needed to explain sweeps.
You could just as easily run up on a sandbar if you're rowing as otherwise. The one thing, if you were trying to pick your way out yourself, is if the sun is nice and high and you can see very clearly through the water, then you could potentially pick your way out on your own. You know that you can pass through. You could also wait till high tide and and get a little bit more clearance, which the later it gets, the higher that tide is going. So maybe. You are a decent seaman. You might be able to pull it off.
That's an overconfidence check.
Well, I know from like practical experience in shallow or risky waters, you always go there at low tide to see where everything is, and then you come back and traverse it at high tide.
Which you've already had that preview yesterday.
So we came through at low tide.
Well, it was actually, when did you come through? It was around midday, so yeah, it would have been lowish.
And we draw what, 2 meters?
So your actual draft is 6 feet 6 inches at the aft, and there are a couple of spots that are left less than a fathom, but the route that you take to get in and out of here you will just clear it.
All right.
And that's
So
at low water.
what is the tidal range from low to high?
A couple of feet.
Okay, so it's from low tide to high tide. There's no real difference. It's not like meters different.
Well, no, it's not like a whole meter, but a couple of feet is really all you need.
Wow, they don't have much tidal range in the Bahamas.
Well, this is a huge shallow harbor.
Well, like where I live, our tides will range from low to high. We've got like at least 2 meters, sometimes 3 meters, up to 4 meters.
I seem to recall the record is like 19 feet or something like that. I don't understand how the hell that works, but whatever.
Interesting.
All right, well, let's wreck the boat. That won't.
So you gonna go it alone or try to find somebody else?
Now, can Rogers help in any way on this?
You could.
Well, I think you're going to need people like at the bow or wherever dropping lines, making sure the depth, doing depth or soundings. The right term.
I mean, he's
I'm
got
not going
quite
to
a-
be overconfident.
He's got quite a range of.
We're doing this at night now, aren't we? Because we spend all day
depends on how
doing our
quickly you
things.
get out. So you could get out before the sun goes down. It won't be ideal though.
Let's get a pilot.
What was Nosh saying?
I've got quite a range of skills with seamanship, ship handling, etc., etc.
Yes, but you don't have knowledge of these waters specific enough to help in this harbor. And that's the hard part. So if you are going to do a search, are you going to get help for that?
Yes. We'll get a pilot.
I will allow that to use seamanship instead of IQ. That will be at -2 for the population level. And Rogers can roll an assist with seamanship if you like. All right.
Damn,
Wow.
Rogers gave you
Okay.
2.
Succeed by 6.
So earlier in the day, you caught up to that guy and he said, no, I got a thing tonight. So I'm going to find somebody else. You there. There is a guy. He will pilot you out this evening, and he will charge you. Where did I put that? The harbor pilot is usually sort of tonnage based, so they'll charge you per ton.
Can you also subtract the £1 for the map from the party sheet?
Oh, yes. Hold that thought while I look for my other note. That was up there, wasn't it?
I think you borked your notes.
No, this happens every time. My mental map of my notes just blanks out when I start actually running.
Create a story element that
I've
chapterizes
got
all
one.
your notes.
It's got a table of contents. That's not the problem. It doesn't matter how much you prepare. Okay, so he is going to offer to do your pilotage at 3 shillings. That is to get you out of the bay and up to Bridgepoint, where you entered.
Agree.
While avoiding mailmen or mayor people, right?
Ideally,
Those mer people.
£1
Also-
subtracted.
Also, during the day, Hayden is going to draft a letter of recommendation to Lieutenant Brace. Basically, giving an honest evaluation of what he did. He's not going to embellish unnecessarily if he didn't deserve it.
You have been through enough promotions. You know exactly how to word that.
I'm just assuming that he carried himself well. If he didn't, then Hayden's not going to give him that recommendation.
Well, you didn't see him interacting with Rogers, but then again, that would have been more on Rogers than him.
Rogers went in and it's like, yeah, shut up, dude.
But he was a model officer.
As far as you saw, he was well behaved and appropriate.
So draft that letter. Sign it. What is it? What was the rank? Master and Commander.
Lieutenant. Oh,
Well, he'll sign it. Master and Commander John Hayden, retired. And then make the effort to meet up with him and see if he can get access to the maps and compare it with what we have to, just better our chances.
Are you
well,
also
will be...
providing him with the code book with the whole? By the way, we located this or obtained this on the rumjack.
Is that of any value to us anymore?
The book itself. Well, that depends. Now, something I was meaning to ask you. I know I've got some other PCs that are doing research. If you were wanting to scour that thing for potential notes, clues, whatever, then you could potentially research that, and maybe you'll find something. Who knows? But other than that, on its face as a code book, it's not really useful to you because it may be out of date. I don't know how often they change the code books, but you don't know at this point. You've been out long enough that you don't know what the current code book should be. And of course, anybody seeing you with it is going to raise an eyebrow.
I think it would be in Hayden's interest to hand over the book.
Okay. Now, an additional consideration in that regard is if you hand over the code book, you're going to have to tell him where you got it. And you hadn't actually told the story of what happened to the Rumjack.
You can refer to the official account, the Navy guy that was with us.
Well, he's
I
not
don't
here.
remember I don't remember what the name of that was.
As the Pelican was the ship.
Right.
I can't remember. Lockhart?
Something like that.
Oh, come in handy later.
You could.
Then,
It's up to you.
if Randall says it'll come in handy later, then we'll keep it.
I'll ask you again about the research later. At any rate.
All right,
moving
then
on,
keeping it.
because I would like to get just a little bit farther. So we have established now the route that you will be taking.
All ahead flank speed.
You will be essentially going there. There.
You didn't include when we crash.
There. And then on to Havana.
We can do that at full throttle, right?
Well, that's going to be up to you. So once you get to that leg where you're crossing the shoals there, you might want to slow down.
Dude,
And,
I don't know any of this crap.
Depending on the weather. So, for example, if it's really overcast at the time, you can't see the bottom very well, and
Oh,
that
crap.
could
I
be more
retract
dangerous.
that comment. I actually have a point in seamanship, and I have a 14.
It's true.
So, yeah, I do at least understand the mechanics behind it.
Also, there is the issue of going at night. So, without a pilot to tell you what to do, going at night may be an issue, and so you might end up wanting to stop. I don't know. That's up to you, but maybe you're feeling your oats. Who knows?
Engage.
So that is established. Let me pull up that thing. All right, so we have already done the plot the route part of that. We know what it is, and you did your area knowledge check. What was the result of that?
Critical success.
I don't believe that's true.
I think it was
Well, I had to
succeed by 4.
I am going to run with that for now. So at this point, I have told you the travel time estimate is probably going to be between 2 days and
Is
a
that
week.
the area knowledge Caribbean check that he made?
Yeah.
Success by 4.
Okay. Did that have the -2 on it?
It
I
did
gotta
not.
scroll back up. It did
It
not.
did not.
Okay, so made it by 2 then. So the travel time estimate, worst case was probably going to be a week, and the best case was probably going to be 2 days. You could probably plan on 4 days and call that your estimate. You have 12 days of provisions, so you should be good either way, depending on spoilage and that sort of thing. Next, we'll make the actual planning roll. So this will be one navigation roll. I think that's going to be better than your area knowledge. And if I recall correctly, Rogers would tend to let you use his instruments for that. Since he has good quality instruments, you will get that bonus, and he can also assist.
As
Navigation.
as per normal, Hayden is going to have someone else be doing it, and he's just going to supervise.
Well, this isn't the daily navigation. This is the plotting the course stuff.
Okay.
So you're actually doing the planning here. Oh, right. So the distance is going to be. We'll give you a -2 for the distance. And the conditions give you -4 for the conditions.
So -6 all up.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So
All right.
that's going to be a fail by 2 unless we have instruments.
-6, +1 for Roger's assist, and +1 for the instruments.
So that's going to be a fail by 1.
Ramming speed.
All right.
If
So
we're
you will not-
planning, how
Go ahead.
long does this planning session take? Because we might take extra time given that it
Well, that's
is
true.
dangerous waters.
If you want to make it a success, you could take 2 hours instead of 1. But you guys have had a relatively full day.
We can use a Benny.
You could do that too. Now that will get you out tonight. If you want to wait until tomorrow morning, you could take the full amount of time to do your planning.
We wasted so much time during the day doing stuff, so we're going out at night. So I spent a Benny to make that a success.
Benny it is. All right. Well, you're no worse off then. So the next part is to fit out for the journey. So you've already done the navigation part. There are some other roles that other PCs can make. As listed: administration, area knowledge, engineering, freight handling, leadership. Rogers has already contributed. So everybody else other than Hayden and Rogers can pick a thing that they can do if you want. Dr. Spencer will arrange the logistics.
And the schedules. Who's got freight handling? Does anybody have freight handling?
Davino does. It's
What was
not great.
Claude
It's
attempting?
11, but
It's pretty routine, though.
Claude was attempting to help. It says many of the above roles can substitute seamanship at -4 at your discretion.
Right, but
Claude
what was she
has-
helping with?
Probably it would probably be freight handling because
Yeah,
Claude
okay.
does not have freight handling. That's about the only thing I think he could do.
Well, given that Davino is probably going to take charge of that, we'll call that a failed assist, and Davino will take a -1.
Sweet.
no, you see, Claude, he's like this. Or, well, mostly.
Wow,
Yep.
that would have
They're
succeeded without Claude's help.
helping. Maybe
Did you
Davina
have a
can help
-1?
Benny.
Yeah, because I failed.
Oh, gotcha.
I blame the monkey. He left a banana peel. Then somebody slipped.
That dang monkey.
Well, boom helps always. Never hindrance.
See, you learn. Boom, help you learn how not to. How to keep
Precisely.
eyes open for how to keep eyes open for bananas.
Precisely.
Sir Randall going to contribute?
I'm looking.
Leadership.
Leadership is probably the only thing I've got.
No.
Do the thing
It'll
and
help.
the other thing and
No, paper.
stop messing around with the banana peels.
All right, so the navigation came out as a 0. We got a +6 for admin, -1 for freight handling, and +2 for leadership. That gets us 7 total, which will be 2, 3 plot points. Now, where did I put that thing?
Over there.
That's the old Benny's thing. I don't need that. Yeah, this is one of those situations where I need the thing on the
other thing.
On the party sheet, not in the notes. And I don't have one for that. Okay, well, I am gonna put it here. Okay, I'll just put it right where it goes. All right, so that will be the plot points for the journey. You actually managed. So you are leaving tonight, or not tonight, leaving as soon as everything is actually loaded. And fortunately, you've only got 1 ton to load, and it won't take all that long.
Except it's stored really crappily.
It's fine.
Boom's fault.
Okay, so we can ignore that part, and there's that part. So, on the late afternoon of the 13th of February, start boarding process. So, the stuff is loaded, and as everybody is coming aboard, Red is at the ship, just talking and chatting, and everybody, as soon as they encounter Red, they cut him off and say something to him before he gets a chance to respond, and he's starting to get really irritated at that. And those with seamanship, with points in seamanship, may actually realize that this is a luck thing. So it's bad luck to encounter a ginger on before you get on the ship, unless you are the first to say something.
Isn't Hooper also a ginger?
Not technically, I guess.
Well, I'm going to start telling Red a story, but I'm going to use Greek the entire time.
Here's the specific.
Maybe I'll switch into Russian about midway and see if he picks up that those are completely different languages. Well, redheads have no soul. Of course they were believed to bring bad luck.
Now, another one. I need all the PCs to make a health +4 check into the box.
What's this for?
No
He's
reason.
being grimdark. Oh,
Wow.
in the
I
box.
don't think anybody has
My
fit,
health
so.
is crap.
Actually, add 1 to Hayden's roll. He does have fit.
Oh. That's cheating.
He shouldn't have fit. He's dying.
Oh,
All right, let's
Claude
see.
has skinny. That's there's probably a minus.
No, that
from
doesn't
that.
affect health directly.
Okay. Okay.
That
Who gets the
is
sickness?
All right, well, if somebody gets sick later, you'll know why. To be fair, this is a very low population, and it's English, so it's probably not that bad. So you guys will settle up. If you had anything to do with friendly before you leave, You can take care of that. Let's see. We've got the freight handling part as part of the other thing, and that didn't go as well, although it only missed by 1, so it may not completely fall apart.
Beno should have used a Benny, but he's like, screw it, I don't care. We see how it is.
And Friendly was one of the first ones to tell you earlier that if you guys get out of here fast enough, you probably won't even be caught up by the customs guys. So you can bypass that, seeing as they're not real active around here. And then you will start clearing the moorings and weigh anchor and get ready to move out.
Roll out.
All right.
So, as a reminder, you are starting here around what is currently Dunmore Town, and you'll follow a route roughly like so. Up here
Crash.
is where the hazard is anchored. So you guys will stop briefly there to pass off the letter of recommendation and let him know that you're moving on. Oh, you're going to give him the book as well. So that's going to be a little more delayed.
Yeah.
Randall
keeping the
didn't
book.
want to. Randall
Oh,
said
right, you
it
wanna
might be useful, so we don't give it to him.
Right. You still
Sure,
going to leave the
right.
letter?
Still going to leave the letter and compare their charts to the one we bought.
Right, okay. So you are going to get a bit of a delay on that. Let's see, what time? Sundown is at 7:30, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, sunup is also roughly around 7:30. Oh, 6:40 is sunrise. Oh, freaking 5:50. Yeah. So you guys are really gonna have to push it to get out before the sun goes down. But so if you delay, that might be a little extra darkness getting out of here. And you'll be right around that current point right there is where it gets the shallowest. But on the other, well, no, it's still going to be a few hours before you get to high tide at that point. So you could delay, wait for high tide before you move on after you reach the hazard.
Well, it depends on the confidence of the pilot.
That's you.
Oh,
no, that's right. You guys did find a pilot.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, then you don't have to make a bunch of rolls for that. But let's see how the pilot does. Well, you throughout your journey out of the bay, which takes around 3 hours or so, you do get a little scrape here and there, but nothing that stops you. You try to be brief with the hazard. Just get in there, toss them the letter, and get out.
Yeah.
Question.
Quick
Yeah.
comparison
Okay.
of maps just to make sure that the path through the Bahama Shoals is near enough to consistent on both maps.
So we'll call it a half hour then. So 3.5 hours before you hit Bridgepoint and are officially underway. And let me see here. Well, first off, where did it go? Right. So, and once you hit open water there, it will the sun will be going down, and off you go.
Make sure to get all our flags up.
You guys have an SOP that you always fly the British ensign.
Jolly good.
And
Then we crash.
given the time, damn it, I hate it when it ends at a bad cliffhanger point. I don't like that. It needs a better cliffhanger point.
We're going to look over and see a guy hanging from a cliff.
Leviathan comes from the deep.
Yeah, there aren't really cliffs though.
It's a small cliff. We're like, oh, that looks terrible. And then next week, the camera will zoom out, and you realize he's got like 3 feet to drop into the ocean.
Yeah.
Or, Red climbs up and suddenly falls.
Well, I can't think of anything
if need
specifically
be.
dramatic.
I'm good to go a little bit longer.
Well, no, it's a really good stopping point is the problem. Just don't have the proper cliffhanger part for it. It's sad, but we'll just have to live with it, I suppose.
Cut to the hold, and the monkey is down there playing with those weird pebble things of Claude's
Oh no.
and
Claude got rid of
smiling
those.
evilly. I know that's the thing. And the monkey's like, "Ha! You thought you got rid of him."
Oh, that would be funny.
The monkey's eyes glow red.
Yeah, don't get Phil started on that.
That's awesome. I love this idea.
Dun, dun, dun.
I wish to marry this idea. It's fantastic.
Anyway, you guys hit the channel and off you go, and we'll cut to black, cue the music, roll the credits.
I suppose you could just sort of zoom out from the ship and realize that someone is looking at us through a spyglass, but you don't identify who it is.
It kind of feels like.
Well, if I were
Everybody's
going to do it
watching
cinematically,
you.
I suppose what I would do is you'd pan over to the beach that you just left, and there's a
And
yacht
everybody's
sitting there.
dead.
And there's a yacht sitting there, and the crew is on board while the captain, who happens to be the bounty hunter, is on shore next to a campfire, throwing the bones over the top of a map.
Well, there you go. And then the map catches on fire, and he goes, "Oh!"
That was unexpected. And he has an evil laugh.
His is an evil laugh.
There you go. Yeah.
Or we do a massive zoom out into space. We see the Earth and it zooms out of the solar system, and then it zooms out and it's a little marble, just like in Men in Black, and someone's rolling marbles on a beach somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm not keeping that.
Nah, it's gonna be like we're starting to sail, and Red's gonna say, "Computer, freeze program."
Oh
Yeah.
no, even but I got it. yeah, you guys, as you guys finally break out, and you hit the winds, and Red's hat goes flying off into the water, and you all realize that is an omen of a long journey.
Damn it, Red!
Actually, it should
Now we cut to black.
zoom out, and where there's a bunch of nerds sitting around a table looking at a map of the Bahamas, rolling dice.
That's a
On
little
character
too meta
sheets.
for my taste.
Anywho, so the post game stuff. Try and get it right this time. 1 point for everybody. Let's see, stability. We don't have any culture shock, no drug use, no fright checks, no mental disturbance. Well, yes, but that's probably not going to amount to anything. No battle, no social isolation. Yeah, that's pretty uneventful as far as your mental instability goes. And let's see. Who should get a free Benny today? Anybody have any recommendations?
Randall, because he bullshitted so well.
I'm gonna give it to Dora.
Yeah, not for NPCs.
I mean,
I
she
think
did
I'll-
such a great Jane representation.
I think I'll
I like-
second Randall. That BS was pretty good.
Give it to the monkey.
Ooh,
Claude playing her character, even though she could have gotten in trouble with the.
You know, that is actually a
Nah.
good point. Claude did really push that. So Claude definitely gets one. But I'm going to give Randall one for that too.
Yeah, Randall definitely needs one for the BS story. That was pretty awesome.
One for Randall, one for Claude. And that is all my post-game business. So anybody else got anything you need to clean up?
not at the moment.
Nope.
We got to manage some of the money stuff. We can do that offline. That'll be fine. All right. Then, if you're watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Like
Especially
and
heckling.
subscribe and all that. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Good night, stream.